going to strap it up and play some football.
He breaks the tackle down the sideline.
Nice throw on this.
1st and 10.
And then watch what he does. He makes a nice cut here, and he's gone, baby.
Good call.
He's got the catch. Can he stay on his feet? Still on his feet at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown East.
Excellent performance. The Adelphia Channel is proud to present the 2002 Game of the Week. Tonight's game features the Righetti Warriors against the Buena Bulldogs. Tonight's game is sponsored in part by Crown Dodge, one of California's top Dodge dealers, in their brand new superstore in the Ventura Auto Center. And by Bucky's Barbecue. Bucky's uses only certified Angus beef and smokes all their meats over 100% wood for up to 12 hours. Stop by Bucky's Barbecue at the Oxnard Airport and try the killer beans. And by Big J's Furniture. Beauty, elegance, quality, and dependability, all at affordable prices with personalized service from neighborhood friends you can trust. And by the City of Oxnard Solid Waste Division. Find out how you can do more to help save the planet by recycling. Call 385-8060. And by Paradise Chevrolet, the Tri-County's #1 volume Chevrolet dealer. My name is Tom West. I am standing alongside Analyst Supreme Dave Wheeler. And Dave, it's that point of the season. Again, we always talk about it as being the third part of any particular season. We're talking about the playoff season. It's upon us. This is CIF Southern Section Division 4 first-round action between two, I think, very evenly matched ball clubs.
Well, on paper, they both look like they match up very well. Both of them have very big lines. They match up well across the board as far as height and size, but also they run similar style offenses. And so I think we're going to see a very fast-paced game, a game that should go quickly in terms of time on the clock, because there won't be a lot of balls in the air tonight. And it's going to be whoever makes the fewest mistakes and whoever controls the line of scrimmage that comes out winning.
Well, Dave, one thing, you think about Buena, you think about them offensively, the first guy outside of the big offensive line that you talked about, the first guy probably that most people think about that follow high school football here in the county is Alex Garfield. He's closing in on 1,900 yards of rush offense, something like 140 points total on the season. Righetti has a pretty good player of their own, a guy by the name of Ryan Mole. There you see Alex Garfield. Ryan Mole, a junior, 1,300-plus yards of rush offense, 16 touchdowns, 9.5 yards per carry. According to their head coach, Greg Dickinson, these two guys are pretty similar in how they play the game.
Well, we've seen Garfield, and he's had some very big games this year. Of course, this is his senior season, and he's hard to stop. He gets up behind those big linemen, and he kind of gets lost, a little bit a la Tyler Ebell at UCLA. You know, somebody that's that small behind two big guys running downfield, it's hard to pick him up, and you never get a clean shot on the kid. He's got really good quicks.
Garrett Cushing, again, the quarterback for Buena's Bulldogs, didn't play particularly well, or perhaps I'm maybe not giving him enough credit. They defended him very well. St. Bonaventure the last time we saw Garrett, but Garrett is very capable of getting the job done. We go back to that opening ball game, I believe, against Agura in the 2002 campaign. He was 10 of 10 passing. He's had other games where he's been 10 of 15. He can get the job done, but he has to get more time than he did last week against St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, his line's got to protect him, but again, Buena would rather that they get it done on the ground. They're going to put Cushing into a position where he's not used to having to play that role of being a passing-type quarterback. So if they do get behind Righetti tonight and they're trying to play catch-up in the air, then that doesn't favor Buena. It also doesn't favor Righetti on the other side of the ball.
Couple of guys that we've been very impressed with through our run through the, I guess you might say, regular season campaign 2002. We've seen Buena a number of occasions. They're cornerbacks. One of the guys who's outstanding, Randy Nava, he wears number 30. There you see Robert Oregon, number 80. But Randy Nava had a big ball game against St. Bonaventure. I thought they did a great job on Whitney Lewis and company. Even though they lost the ball game, they controlled those guys pretty well, I thought.
Well, they did. They kept St. Bonnie from scoring a ton of points, and Nava was one of the reasons. He'll come up and hit you. He plays excellent run support, but he's also a good pass defender. Gets back. We saw him make a pick or two this year, and he's not afraid to hit you. He'll light you up.
They've got some big-time hitters in that secondary. We mentioned Robert Oregon, his running mate on the other side. He wears number 80, another key to this ball game. And it's not necessarily when you think cornerbacks, you think, well, these guys have to cover the pass, but they also have to be effective on run support.
Well, especially when you've got a good running team like Righetti, because they'll hurt you tackle to tackle, but they'll also occasionally try to get outside of you. And you've got to know as a DB when it's time to come up and when it's time to stay back on your man. Both these guys on the outside seem to do a great job of that for Buena.
Righetti High School, it's interesting that new Pac-5 league, of course, 5 teams in the league. 3 of those teams tied atop the standings, all with 3-win, 1-loss records. Paso Robles themselves, I'm talking, of course, about Righetti, and also San Luis Obispo. These guys come in, I believe, as a number 2 seed, but outstanding physical, nose to the grindstone, let's run the ball down your throat type of teams up there. I think these 2 teams play similar styles, Buena and Righetti.
Yeah, they do, and that's why they match up so well on paper, but we'll see. Who comes out on top is probably going to be, again, who makes the least amount of mistakes and who controls that line. And this is one of the better draws, I think, for Buena in terms of matching up similar type styles on the field. I mean, to my thinking, it's better than going against somebody like a St. Bonnie that plays a little bit more of a wide open type of an offense.
Gives you a lot more people to try to defend. It's awfully tough when you have to spread the defense around a little bit.
Exactly.
We're going to take a short break. Reminder, this is CIF Southern Section, first round Division IV action tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. The Buena Bulldogs play host to the Righetti Warriors. We'll be right back. CIF Southern Section, Division IV, first round playoff action tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. Reminder that tonight's game is sponsored in part by West Coast Video Productions, providing television production equipment from single-camera news crews to multi-camera video packages with over 15 years' experience. West Coast Video Productions, the professional's choice. And by OPF Incorporated. OPF Incorporated is a manufacturer of precision metal products, doing business in Oxnard for the past 17 years. With over $3.5 million in high-tech equipment, OPF specializes in the fabrication of metal brackets, panels, covers, chassis, and weldments. If you're in need of quality metal products, call Dave Garza. He's at OPF Incorporated. Call him today at 985-0447. And by Pronto Brake and Muffler. Pronto Brake and Muffler has been serving Oxnard for over 25 years. Come in and experience our fast and friendly service. And by Barlow Williams Realty. Do you just want your home listed? Or do you want it sold? Dave Barlow sells what he lists. Call 987-5755 or stop by and see Dave in the Mission Oaks Shopping Center. Tom West with Dave Wheeler and company here tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. Let's get right to the starting lineups for tonight's first round Division IV playoff game. Again, these are who we expect to see in the starting lineups. They are always subject to last-minute changes. First of all, Righetti offensively, talking to some of the coaches for Buena before the ball game. Ben Grover, outstanding junior split in. We expect to see him in action and doing some damage potentially to those Buena defensive backs. Of course, he's going against the challenging defense set up by, we talked about, Nava and Oregon. Murchison, Rios, Jagoda, Spence, Gibbons up front. The tight end, Stephen Smith. Richard Amar will be your flanker. Scott Kegley, the fullback. Josh Thomas, the junior quarterback, and the outstanding running back, number 13, Ryan Mole, 1,300-plus yards of rush offense, 9.5 yards per carry, and 16 touchdowns on the ground. Defensively for Righetti, Chris Elliott, he's a big guy, about 6'5", 245. Nathan Mitchell, Greg Shabata, Danny Lauer. Danny Lauer, Dave, we understand, has potentially some leg or ankle problems. May not be 100% tonight. Noah Winkle's outstanding backer. Luke Darris, another guy who has some injury problems. Talking to the radio broadcaster before the game for Righetti, they have a team coming up to do the ball game. He talked about A.J. Barry, said this guy is a wild man. The weak side inside linebacker, number 21.
I like it. Watching him warm up, he looks like he's very athletic as well.
Daniel Diaz will play your strong safety or rover position. Ryan Gonzalez, the cornerback, along with Thomas Clark. And Leif Vieker will be your free safety, number 11. Buena offensively, Jared Strobel up front, Brandon Williams, Ben Timpton, Brian Jeton, Shad Van Leeuwen, J.D. Probosco. We know all about those guys. They are exceptionally good. Michael Cole, nice talking to his mom again before the game. He's a talented receiver who we might see a little bit more of, perhaps throwing the ball to the tight end, trying to take advantage of his size and skill. Justin Ishida, the wide receiver. Nathan Gibson, we expect to see at fullback. Garrett Cushing, the quarterback. And, of course, number 22, the senior, Alex Garfield. Defensively for Buena, again, we expect to see pretty much the same cast of characters we have seen over the course of our broadcast campaign this year. John Serrano, Big Anthony Wozni, Andrew Gonzalez. They're tough up front. Matthew Keeter, Pierce Dadweiler, Brandon Michelle, Bud Crudo. Good core of linebackers, Nava, Oregon, Ishida, and the hard-hitting Corey Ford at free safety. I know you like him a lot.
Like everybody on that Buena Bulldog defense, let me tell you, these guys will come up and rack you. They got, as you mentioned, a great core of linebackers, and every one of those DBs likes to come up and make a stick.
Dave, as we begin our CIF Southern Section Division IV playoff run, of course, this is a lower bracket game. There are a couple of brackets, each bracket comprised of 8 teams. We'll try to get to those graphics if we can later on. They may come up momentarily, but what I'd like to point out in this lower bracket, we've got this game tonight. We've got Buena as a possible quarterfinal opponent for perhaps Oxnard, who's playing at home against, I believe it's West Torrance. You also have on this side of the bracket, you have a couple of other teams that could be involved later on, Westlake and Channel Island specifically. On the upper side of this bracket, I'm talking about the 16-team Division IV bracket, you've got some more Ventura County schools, St. Bonaventure, of course, you've got Agura, and you also have Moore Park and Camarillo. So if things work out like they could possibly work out, you can go all the way to the semifinals and into the final with some Ventura County schools.
Well, over the last few years, this division, there's a lot of champions have come out of this area, so that wouldn't surprise me too much. But it would be particularly nice if we could end up with like an all Ventura County semifinals. I mean, that would be great. But standing in the way are teams like Righetti and, of course, the rest of the Pac-5. And we've got a little bit of an unknown this year as far as those teams. The Ocean League from down the South Bay area really don't know much about those guys, and so it's going to be an interesting playoff time.
Today, I get the impression, reading all the local newspapers, the press, etc., I think them being, I'm talking about the Ocean League teams, they are the unknown quantity. They come in with a little bit less respect perhaps than some of these other leagues, but I think there's some quality teams. Just looking at some of the opponents that these Ocean League teams like Redondo, like West Torrance, like Santa Monica, the teams that they have played have always had quality programs, as those programs have throughout the years.
Sure, and programs go up and down, but the league on a whole, I think, is very competitive and should be an interesting playoff. The addition of the 5th league means only 3 teams from each league go into the playoffs this year. Should be much more competitive from the first round on, as we see here with Buena and Righetti tonight. You got a 9-1 team playing an 8-2 team, and anybody can win it on any field that's out there tonight. It's going to be an interesting playoff situation.
CIF Southern Section Division IV first round playoff action tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium as Buena plays host to Righetti. We're looking forward to the kickoff, and it's coming up shortly. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the CIF Southern Section Toyota Football Championships tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. This is CIF Southern Section Division IV first round playoff action as the Buena Bulldogs play host to the Righetti Warriors out of Santa Maria. And we're going to take a quick look at the league standings. These two squads involved in action tonight. First of all, the brand new Pac-5 League. A couple of these teams, actually 3 of these, made up the old Northern League. You can see how competitive this particular league was this year. San Luis Obispo, Paso Robles, and Righetti all atop the standings with 3-win, 1-loss records. You see Arroyo Grande. Interesting to me, Dave, the fact that they finished 1-3 in Pac-5 league play, but their overall record was 6-3, meaning their only losses came in Pac-5 league play. And I guess that was good enough to earn them the at-large berth here in the CIF Southern Section Division IV playoffs.
Well, the good thing about it is they're 9-1 team and they're sitting in 3rd place. So, they come right off the bat. They're going to get a pretty good draw, I think, for Righetti as far as their overall record is concerned.
Channel League standings, St. Bonaventure 9-1 overall. Of course, they ran the table in Channel League play. Their initial try at Channel League play in Division IV, 5-0. Buena right behind it, 4-1, 8-2 overall. San Marcos, the 3rd automatic qualifier from the Channel League, 7-3 overall. All their losses to outstanding football teams, Buena, St. Bonaventure, and Oxnard. Ventura ended up at 2-3, Dos Pueblos and Santa Barbara. We would like to take a quick look at the Division IV playoff brackets. Again, you see a lot of familiar names. The upper bracket, there you see the number 1 seeded team in Division 4, St. Bonaventure, playing a home game tonight at Santa Barbara City College against Arroyo Grande, and I thought that was an interesting conversation, how that came to be. George Contreras basically telling us, as far as he interprets the situation, this field, I'm talking about Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium, basically being a public school facility. The public school in question in the playoffs here out of Ventura being Buena, they apparently had first right to this facility.
Yeah, it is interesting. The other thing I think is interesting is that they went up to play at Santa Barbara City College on that new synthetic turf, and I'd love to be able to see those guys and what they could do on it.
Redondo Aguero, that should be an outstanding matchup. San Luis Obispo, San Marcos, that will be, I think, a very physical game. And, of course, Moore Park playing host to Camarillo. Lower bracket action, Westlake Channel Islands will play at Westlake, Paso Robles, Santa Monica. Of course, tonight, Buena Righetti. And what I like about this game, the winner of tonight's game, Dave, will play the winner of Oxnard West Torrance, a game that we think Oxnard will win, but you never know in the playoffs.
No, you don't. I mean, it's always the unknown, and definitely with that new Ocean League, nobody really knows how good West Torrance is. They could give Oxnard quite a battle tonight.
The captains meeting at the center of the football field, the very familiar number 32, Justin Ishida for Buena, along with Owen Judkins, Tom Bueno, and that looks like Corey Ford, again, the fine two-way performer, but I like to call him a free safety of some renown. This guy can really bring it when he wants to bring that tackling for him.
Yes, he will. Very quick to the line.
Buena has won the toss. They will defer to the second half, meaning that Righetti will get the ball to start this first-round playoff game tonight from Larrabee Stadium. I'm Tom West along with Dave Wheeler. We've got everybody here. The doctor's in tow. The Dr. Jerry Guerin. What a great job he did last week. It's hard sitting in for a legend, and I guess you have to try to do the best you can. And I think the job that the doctor did, he almost reached legendary status, but it's going to take a while to reach the high plane established by Atlas Supreme Dave Wheeler.
Well, I know how hard it is to fill in for a legend every basketball season when I try to keep up on stats. So this guy does a great job of feeding us numbers during the course of a ball game. Sorry I had to miss last week, but I got a chance to watch my daughter sing and had to take it.
You got to do the family commitments, and we respect that and appreciate that. Speaking of feeding us well, how about that Bucky's Barbecue brought to us by the General Joe Beltran. There you see Rick Scott with the white hat. He's talking to some of the coaches upstairs. Nice conversation with Rick talking about his son playing back in the East. And he's quite proud of his son. I think he said the Merchant Marine Academy, I believe they played Coast Guard last Saturday. So after that Buena game that was played against St. Bonaventure on Thursday, he flew out on Friday to attend that Saturday game between those two squads, was able to get to Broadway to see Phantom of the Opera, I believe, on Saturday night after the game. Had a good time.
Nice trip.
This game is underway. This ball will sail out of bounds right about the 30, make that the 25-yard line. So we would expect, that was Daniel Diaz, the closest man to that football. That might have also been A.J. Berry in the vicinity. He wears number 21. So we would expect Righetti to take over offensively, 1st and 10 from the 35, or perhaps they will force Buena to kick it over again, and that looks like the decision already been made. They're going to mark that back 5 yards and force the Bulldogs to kick it over.
Well, I like this. You know, you can end up with better field position, Tom, and this, it's a good way to start the ball game. Don't take that nice little spot on the 35. Make them kick again. Maybe you get a really good return. You get it to midfield. So, little strategy moves here, going back and forth.
Luis Gamino. He wears number 23 for the dark jersey-clad Buena Bulldogs. Of course, Dave said there's something that looks different about these guys tonight. Of course, last time we saw them, they had the lighter jerseys. They were the visiting ball club in that Thursday night game about a week and a half ago, or about 10 days ago against St. Bonaventure. There's that high kick. A.J. Berry will field at the 40-yard line. That's a good job by A.J. And they pick up about 5 yards on that decision. Instead of 1st and 10 at the 35, they go 1st and 10 from the 40, Dave.
I like it. We're going to find out exactly what these guys do now offensively. So hang on, folks. This should be a quick-moving first quarter.
This is an offensive football team. Righetti's Warriors scoring at a 23.7 per ball game clip, 237 points after 10 games. Had a big ball game last week, 53-28 win over Glendora. Motion across the formation by the flanker back. There's Mole right at the middle, midfield, and more. He could score. 40, sprint to the end zone. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. That's a touchdown. One play, one score. We're getting on top.
Very nicely conceived play, too. They run a lot of misdirection, Tom. You're going to see it with the flanker who goes in motion here. They fake to him first. A little bit of cross-buck action. Good blocking up front. Look at the hole. He's got a fullback leading through, doesn't really need him. He just goes right past the defenders and off he rolls. This gentleman has some speed. Ryan
Mole coming in, 139 carries for 1,317 yards. Well, he's got 60 more, 9.5 coming in on average. Extra point try on the way. And that kick is good off the foot of Leif Beeker. 11:47 left to play in period number 1, meaning, Dave, only 13 seconds have expired. Righetti on top, 7-0 over Buena.
Well, it's only 13 seconds and it's only one play, so now the Bulldogs got to regroup and not get too worried about this whole thing. They still got a game plan in place. It's going to be obviously against a very good team, but let's get it back together here and get ready.
These are the CIF Southern Section Toyota Football Championships. This is CIF Southern Section Division 4 first round playoff action tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. Leif Beeker just has converted the extra point. He wears number 11, also the starting free safety for the Warriors out of Santa Maria. He will kick it away. We expect to see Randy Nava and Corey Ford standing in deep kick return formation. They are making their way back to the 5-yard line as we speak. So if you're an offensive football team with the ball, here you see defensive coordinator George Contreras talking over the troops. That's how you like to get it going in the playoffs with a big run. Of course, on the other side, you just have to kind of get into it, and I'm sure the Buena Bulldogs will. Kick will be fielded right about the goal line by Nava, brings it back 5, 10, 15, short of the 20-yard line. Big-time contact. That was tremendous contact by A.J. Berry and Thomas Clark, both of them starting defensive football players for the Warriors.
Excellent coverage coming down, Tom. You know, these guys are down and they're excited. Keep the ball inside the 20. That's what a kick cover team's job is to do here. You see him get back to the 10, to the 15. He gets first contact, and they keep him at about the 17-yard line or so, and that's where they'll start.
Barry and Clark up high. Big-time contact. There again you see Rick Scott, first and 10. Buena's Bulldogs, 11:41 left to play in the first. They're down 7-0, first and 10 from their 18-yard line. Offset formation with the backs in the backfield. The turn to give to Garfield, trying to come back to the left side. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle across the 20 to the 22-yard line. So not a lot of room, it looked like initially at the point of attack. Noah Winkles with the stop, but that was a good job by Garfield getting through for about 3 yards when it appeared he was stopped for no gain.
Yeah, you had A.J. Berry again there, outside linebacker, overran the play a little bit, and you saw Garfield slip back to the inside, find a little bit of a crease. He's able to go back against the grain and make something positive out of it. It looked like he was going to get a loss on that play.
Garfield, 1,837 yards coming in, averaging 7.2 yards per carry. He has scored 23 touchdowns. Counter coming back to the right side. He's going to be stacked up and driven backwards, that time by Luke Darris. Luke Darris, the outstanding strong side inside linebacker, one of their best defensive football players. According to their head coach, Greg Dickinson, said that he has been hampered by a bad ankle. He may be hobbled tonight, as might his counterpart, his running mate up front at the defensive tackle, the quick tackle spot, Danny Lauer, but so far he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he does. He looked good on that play. Filled in a hurry and no gain at all by the Buena Bulldogs. And very sure tackle. If his foot's bothering him, he's not showing it right now, Tommy.
Third and we'll call it 7 yards to go for the first down. Double flanker off the left side. Garfield will motion to the left as the penalty flags will come down before the snap of the football. So we'll see what happens. A.J. Berry thinks that Buena was guilty of some type of infraction. And according to Buena's reaction, already moving back inside the 10-yard line, I think they expect the same. Indication, illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. 7-0. Righetti's Warriors on top. Clock stop, 10:21 left to play in the first. So instead of 3rd and 7, Dave, you're faced with about a 3rd and 12.
And that changes the whole situation as far as your play calling, and it's going to be interesting to see what Buena pulls out of the hat right now.
High backfield set. This could be a screen situation. Let's wait and see what happens. That's the draw up the middle, little drop-off draw to Garfield. He's going to be stopped short of the 20-yard line by Luke Dara, so well short of the first down. This will set up fourth and still about 9 yards to go for the first down. And we would expect to see Jose Romo making his way onto the football field very shortly. And here come the members of that punt team. They'll run right to the football. And I think they're concerned that we have our full 11 here, or hopefully no more than that. They like to get out and prevent any type of adjustments on the other side by Righetti's Warriors. Again, Romo, pretty high snap. He goes up the ladder to get it. That's off the side of the foot, angling towards the sideline. Buena sideline fielded by Thomas Clark. There's a fumble right there about the 35-yard line. Make that the 32-yard line, and Buena's on top of it. So Clark had trouble with the handle. Ball ends up on the ground, and that's going to be recovered by Buena. Looks like big number 82, Matthew Keeter, at the bottom of the pile to pick that up.
I think Bud Crudo over there also from his linebacker position got in on that. Somebody stripped the ball. Well, hopefully we'll see that on the replay, but you know, that's tough. That you're not really expecting that ball. You're one of the up guys. Here comes a little.
Good job by Romo there up the
bet.
ladder.
He went up the ladder to get that ball. You can see.
Caught that on the toe.
Doesn't quite get a good extension through the football. And I still didn't catch it.
That might have been Nava on the strip. Here's Garfield coming back to the left side. Powers his way across the 35-yard line. Good job by Alex on that run before he's brought down by Noah Winkles. And he was also helped out by Daniel Diaz, the strong safety, or as they call him, the rover back. I always like the names of some of these guys. You know, you talk about strong safety, there are always names, or some programs attach a certain name to that particular position. There's been some interesting ones over the years.
Well, the Wolfman, I think Michigan State had the Wolfman.
I think that was George Webster, wasn't it, at one point in time back when Steve Garvey was playing for that team. Motion from left to right. Garfield will follow the motion off the right side, 40-yard line. He might have the first down. I think he will. They'll spot that down just across the 42-yard line. Danny Lauer makes the stop. A somewhat undersized defensive lineman at 5'10", 215, but awfully quick. You wonder if that ankle or leg injury will affect his mobility at all.
Well, yeah, he's 5'10", 215. He's the smallest tackle we've seen in a while. We're used to having guys like Wozni. You know, those guys are huge usually, but his quickness is a factor. How good will he be with a bad ankle?
Double tight, double flanker, single back in the backfield. Counter coming back left again to Garfield. Nice patience as he steps across the 44 to just about the 45-yard line before Will Grossi will bring him down. So Grossi with a stop, 3-yard pickup by Buena's Alex Garfield. Garfield closing in perhaps on George Keahoe's school record, his single season mark, 2,271 yards. Set back, I believe it was 1993. And of course, if he gets 2 or 3 games in the playoffs, that will give him an excellent shot of breaking that single season mark established by George Keahoe. Split back set on second and long. Play action fake. Cushing to pass. Does a good job. Will tuck that down. Penalty flag will come down behind the play. Cushing, nothing there. Heavy pressure off the right side defensively. Garrett tucked it away and got up the middle. Back to the line of scrimmage, but holding's going to be called against the Bulldogs. Daniel Diaz again with the stop for Righetti.
Very, very quick penetration and pressure from Righetti, Tom. You're going to watch this. A double fake here, so it takes a while for him to get into the pocket. You see 31 Daniel Diaz. He's the one that eventually comes up with the tackle, and he was supplying some big-time pressure, as well as big number 70. Greg Shibata was right there as well.
Not unlike what we saw St. Bonaventure doing last week off that waggle look, that play action, bootleg or waggle action off the Garfield fake. Second, we'll call it 20 from the 31-yard line. Here's the fly screen back to the right side to Ishida, breaking tackles. He could score midfield, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. That's a touchdown.
Boy, what a great second effort, Tommy. He looked like he got stopped maybe about 3 yards into the defensive backfield, but he just kept the legs driving. And we know this young man is a good athlete, but I didn't know he could run like this. He ran away from the defense. Right here at this point, you see he's got good blocking out in front of him. Tried to catch a number. I think that's big number 55, Brandon Williams, that was leading for him. But he just kind of knocked off a tackler. Somebody tried to arm tackle him. You can't do that, obviously.
Watch right here, Dave. Contact right about the 10-yard line. trying with the leg sweep right there, but great balance by Ishida.
Great balance.
69-yard
job.
run unofficially for the score, so long runs on both sides. Extra point try by Gamino. I think that went under the crossbar. No, it just barely got over. So there was not a whole heck of a lot of room for error there, but Gamino squeezes that over the crossbar. With 7:07 left to play in the first, we have a tie score, Dave.
So, Coach, it's just like we drew it up on the board.
They're all line drives in a box score. If they go in, it doesn't matter how they look.
That's right.
So Ishida from 69 yards away, he scores. 60-yard run for a touchdown on the first play of the game offensively for Righetti. Ryan Mole scores. We didn't expect to see this type of offensive explosion, but you never know, as we said. And we're talking about big plays, quick plays like this. In the playoffs, anything goes, and everything is fair game, I guess you might say.
You bet. 7-7, that's 7:07 of the first quarter. A lot of sevens. I think we should
Parlay that into something. And
play that lotto tonight, huh?
there you go. Used to fly a 7:07, didn't you?
Yeah, I did for a number of years.
There you see Rick Scott talking about some of the offensive adjustments. Looks like he's talking about blocking schemes there, perhaps one of the guards, or looks like maybe a center. He's talking about kind of angling back on a block. That kick's going to fall to the ground. Clark picks it up. Barely got there before the on-charging, the hard-charging kick cover team arrived, saving perhaps another turnover. Thomas Clark. Robert Oregon was the first guy to arrive. So 83-yard, 7-play drive for the touchdown. The culminating play, Justin Ishida's 69-yard run off the right side. We'll call that a fly screen. The motion, I should say, sweep. Slot man motion from left to right. Thomas Clark on the far side. I think being attended to, as Dave points out, something with the leg perhaps. They might call timeout because he's not back in that legal box. That's inside the 35-yard line. They're going to have to wait and perhaps check his condition, maybe get him over to the bench, see what the status of his injury. It looks like perhaps, I wanted to say the left leg, but I think it might be a hand or shoulder injury.
It's hard to say. He was limping pretty severely when he went off the field, but I don't know. They're going to get him over and attend to him. He's being helped by a couple of teammates, so that doesn't look good.
He, of course, is their starting cornerback, Thomas Clark. We've already seen him in action extensively on the special team situation, both punt and kick return. 1st and 10, Righetti. They've only run one offensive play, but they already have 7 points on the board. That by virtue of a 60-yard dash up the middle by Ryan Mole. 7:03 left to play in the first. 1st and 10, Righetti. Offset eye in the backfield. Motion from right to left. This time Mole is going to be dropped. In fact, we'll check that. I believe that was Ryan Mole, the tailback. That time the Buena defenders, led by Anthony Wozni, were very successful in finding Mr. Mole.
And Wozni is just a huge guy. You see him there just shake off the block, a big number 66, Clayton Rios. Just like a fly, just kind of pushes him down and makes the stick. Actually, he is a huge guy. He's a big, big man.
Actually, the block didn't look that bad. If you read that hole up underneath that attempted block, it looked like Mole bouncing outside perhaps prematurely. 2nd and 14 yards to go. Again, motion from right to left. Motion man with the ball. He's going to be dropped. That's Richard Amaro. Amaro, the flanker back, came in short motion from right to left. He got the ball, but he was stacked up. Very short pickup of maybe a yard. Was set up 3rd and still about 14 yards to go for the first down. The ball spotted, we'll call it the 15-yard line. Bud Crudo on the stop for the Bulldogs. 6:05 and counting left to play in the first.
Well, it looks like the Buena defense is starting to adjust a little bit to that misdirection stuff and staying at home nicely.
Greg Dickinson told me we run a lot of different formations, including the shotgun, which they are in now on 3rd and long. Thomas rolling left to pass with some time. Nice ball downfield, delivered a little bit too high, intended for Mole. Mole not only their leading rusher, he's also the leading receiver. 28 catches coming in, averaging 15.6 per catch. Has scored 1 touchdown through the air. Tom Bueno in coverage on Mole out of the backfield.
That's going to be an interesting matchup all day long, Tom, is whether or not guys in the linebacker core can keep up with Mole once they get him out into the flat and release him out of the backfield. That's going to be a very tough assignment.
Leif Viker once again to punt it away. It's spelled V-I-K-E-R, pronounced Viker. High, wobbly, end-over-end kick, fair catch, called for, and made by Corey Ford. So good field position, Dave. as Buena will take over 1st and 10 from the Warrior 46-yard line.
Yep, they won this little series of back-and-forth battle. They got great field position here, short field, and they just need to be patient here and do what they do, wear people down with their big line and, keep that ball in the hands of Mr. Garfield. They'll be fine.
Last time they had a ball, 83-yard touchdown drive. The culminating play, the big 69-yard touchdown run by Ishida. Extra point was converted, although somewhat precariously by Gamino. Off play action. Cushing the pass. He's got time. He's got a receiver running wide open down the sideline. That was Owen Judkins, I believe, number 25, right about the 15-yard line. Judkins had that touchdown catch last week against St. Bonaventure, the only scorer of the night for the Bulldogs.
Yep, he's got excellent speed and good hands downfield. I think they're going to maybe try to come back too. Josh Strobel looked like he was open momentarily on the post pattern. Maybe pump that outside pattern and then come back to him over the middle.
Strobel was open on that particular play, as was Judkins early. I backfield set slot to the right side. That means tight end left. Off play action. Same play again. This time stop route off the right side. That's a nice adjustment. The catch apparently made by Judkins. They ran the same look, but instead of running the receiver, now they're going to call that off. The second receiver comes in from a different angle to call that incomplete. We'll check the replay. Judkins, instead of running the fly down the sideline, just stopped up about 15 yards deep. And let's see if he gets their hands underneath, Dave.
Nope, good call. Ref was right there on it. You saw the ball come out on the replay.
And excellent job, excellent camera work again, I believe, by Bill Goodman. Right on top of that play.
Fooled me from up here.
Well,
it looked good from this far away.
Sometimes the officials, of course, they take a lot of heat, but they deserve the great credit when due, and that time, great call. 3rd and 10 again off play action. Looking back to the left side, Cushing has some time. Will he get through the middle of this pileup? Looked like the Ventura Freeway at about 5 o'clock. He's going to be stacked up, drive short of the first down. In fact, short of the line of scrimmage. Will lose about a yard. Big Chris Elliott, 6'5", 245 off the edge to make the stop on Garrett.
Nicely done. Elliott, as you mentioned, a big man. 6'5" and 245, but did a good job there of staying under control. Don't let the quarterback get outside the passing lanes as you're coming in. Did a good job of squeezing him down.
Jose Romo once again to punt it away for the Bulldogs. Last time it was a bad punt, but it ended up very fortuitously. Here's a fake. Cushing downfield, catch is made, I believe that's by Ford. In fact, Big Cole, Michael Cole with the catch for the first down. That's very interesting, Dave. Again, talking to Mom before the game, I said, they might throw the ball to your son tonight a little bit, and she didn't seem to really believe me, but maybe I have something in the back of my head that starting to scare me a little bit. Maybe I should go to Vegas.
Well, that's an awfully gutsy call right there, but you're
4 down zone playoffs.
Yeah, 4 down and it's playoffs. You're absolutely right. You're in your opponent's side of the field. Hey, go for it. And what a great opportunity to showcase Mr. Cole. He's a good receiver.
Michael Cole had 13 catches coming in, averaging 20.5 yards per catch. He's got another for the big first down. Counter trade coming back right. Garfield steps inside. That's a nice run by Alex across the 30-yard line, just barely across the 30 before he'll be brought down by Will Grossi. So that's about a 5, perhaps 6-yard pickup by Garfield. Again, a very patient runner. We know all about his sprint speed. He's an outstanding track athlete in the spring. Ran, I believe, a 10.79 meters last year. He's very quick, but he has the ability to set up blocks and also to be patient, await those running lanes, the formation of the lanes. When he gets there, he's very explosive, but he doesn't get there before he's supposed to.
Exactly. At that sprint draw look or the counter trade, as you're saying, it takes a while for that hole to open up. And he just waits and waits, bides his time, and boom, he's gone.
Gibson motions out of the backfield. Counter coming back left side to Garfield, trying to get to the first down stick. He'll be very close, right about the 26-yard line. Greg Shibata on the stop for Righetti's Warriors. It looks like he might be about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards short of the first down. Clock continues to move. Period number 1. 3 minutes exactly left to play. 7-7 tie. CIF Southern Section Division 4 first-round playoff game tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. We expect to see maybe the quick hitter off the right side to Garfield. And there it is, a little dive play off the right side. I don't know if he quite got there. I believe if they mark forward progress, there might be a fumble. Lots of late activity, people moving back towards the point of attack. Winkles, one of the backers, along with Danny Lauer on the stop, the quick side defensive tackle. I believe they're going to mark that first down. He has, in fact, the officials indicated move the chain along the sideline. So 1st and 10 for Buena. This drive stays alive, nearing the 2-minute 20-second mark of the first period. 7-7 tie. Wide slot off the left side. In fact, now one of the receivers will reset. Josh Strebel has a tight wing back off the right side, single back in the backfield. Strebel in motion from right to left. Garfield, the single back's got the ball off the left side. That's a stretch play inside the 20-yard line to about the 19, stacked up by Barry, among others, and driven backwards. Again, talking to some of the Righetti personnel, we're talking about the broadcasting team that we discussed things with before the game being brought back to Santa Maria via the radio airways. But he talked about Barry being a very tenacious, very energetic player who can give you the big hit or maybe the inopportune penalty on occasion.
Well, that's what he said. He's either making the big play or hurting you with a penalty. But what he's done here in this first quarter is he overran a few plays early on. Now he's hitting the mark, Tom. He's right there making the tackle.
2nd and 5, little stop route off the right side. Catch is made by Ford. Ford tries to get the first down. It's a little hitch play off the right side. I think he might come up a little bit short. Corey Ford with the catch. Nice hands, again, showcasing Corey's ability as a two-way performer. Tackle on the play by Will Grossi. Richard Amaro was over there as well, helping out. So they might bring the chain out. In fact, they're going to say just a little bit short, perhaps less than a yard short of the first down. 3rd and less than a couple of feet. Timeout's going to be called momentarily. 58 seconds on the first period scoreboard clock. Now the official will say, go ahead and wind it up. Load formation off the right side. They're strong right. Quick hitter off the right side over the top. Garfield for the first down. He's got it inside the 15-yard line. So Garfield, he's got the first down. 1st and 10 Bulldogs, Dave, as they try to take the lead at 7-7.
Well, it shouldn't surprise you that they're going over that big right side, though. That's where J.D. Probasco's at, all 290 pounds of him. And, you don't have to stretch much or jump far if you're trying to get up a first down on that side of the line, not with this guy out in front blocking for you.
The highly recruited J.D. Probasco, single back in the backfield, wide slot off the left side. Garfield, he's down where he's very comfortable. Counter coming back to the right side near the 10-yard line, stacked up. Somebody down around the ankle tops, somebody up high to kind of finish it off. Again, that's one of the backers. I believe Barry again was down low, and Winkles also in the vicinity. There you see some of the Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium crowd in attendance tonight. CIF Southern Section Division 4 first-round playoff action. The winner of this game will get the winner of Oxnard West Torrance. That game being played up the freeway just a piece in Oxnard. And that will do it for the first period of play. We have reached the end of one period of play from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. The score at the end of one. Righetti has 7. Buena has 7. We'll be right back. The score at the end of one period of play from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium here in Ventura. The Buena Bulldogs 7-7 tie with Righetti's Warriors. We'll have some first period numbers coming up momentarily. 1st and 10. Make that second. We'll call it 5 yards to go for the Bulldogs from the 11-yard line now in Righetti territory. Garfield will motion out of the backfield. The ghost backfield. Nobody there. A swing route out of the backfield. Nice catch by Garfield. Had to go down around the ankle tops to make that catch. Good job on coverage by Daniel Diaz. I believe the right side cornerback also in the vicinity. That might have been Ryan Gonzalez, but that's just a great job on the catch by Garfield.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this thing's delivered down around the shoelaces, and he somehow comes up with it. But there you see 31, Daniel Diaz coming up with a big open field tackle. Garfield able to get a little bit of extra momentum going there. That might have been a score.
Garrett Cushing was 2 of 4 passing for 15 yards in the first period, make it 3 of 5 passing now on the night. He's a very effective and somewhat unsung quarterback throughout the region. Very effective, taking the heat off of Garfield when needed. Off play action, he'll roll right. He's got lots of running room. He might tuck this away himself. 10, 5, corner of the end zone, dives. Does he get there? No indication. There it is, touchdown.
Great job. I didn't see which big lineman was leading him around the end, but it might have been number 59. I'm going to take a look at it, see if it was Van Leeuwen from his guard position. But this is just a waggle. Does a good job, fake. And here he's got it is number 59, Van Leeuwen, out in front of him. And watch him just tuck it away and go. This is just the run fake, I think, really sold the defense and held everybody at home. He's able to just get it inside that pylon there for the score.
And you could see he was quite focused on that pylon right corner of the end zone. Buena on top 13-7. Gamino for the extra point try. Ball down on its way. That one gets over the crossbar with just a little bit more room to spare. 14-7, it's good. Buena on top for the first time tonight. 11:08 left to play in the second period. CIF Southern Section Division IV first round playoff action. The Bulldogs looking good after that shaky start, I guess you might say.
Well, probably a little playoff jitters, as it were, Tommy. I mean, you got to get adjusted. Plus, you're seeing a team you've never seen. All you've seen them is on film, and it takes some adjusting to get used to those guys.
First period numbers: Garfield 12 carries for 41 yards. Cushing 2 carries for 1 net yard gained. Ishida had the big run, 1 carry for 69 yards and the touchdown. Cole had 1 catch. Corey Ford had 1 catch. For Righetti, Mole, Ryan had 2 carries for 56 yards, net gain. Of course, he had the big one of 60 on the initial offensive play of the game for the touchdown. Amaro, 1 carry for no yards gained. Thomas, 0-1 passing. And, of course, Vicker had the 1 extra point, Leif, the starting free safety. So 14-7, we'll talk some defensive numbers momentarily. There's that high short kick fielded right about the 18-yard line by Vicker, I believe. He'll bring that back up the middle. In fact, check that. That's Richard Amaro, the starting flanker. So Amaro snuck up right before that kick was underway, fielded it just inside the 20, and with some speed brings it across the 30 to the 34-yard line before he's brought down by Ryan Boland.
Pretty good kick coverage there, Tom, but it looked like he just found a nice little seam there, able to get it back to about the 34-yard line. So that's a nice return by Righetti.
The last time Buena had the ball to take the lead, 46-yard, 13-play, very effective drive for the score. Looking to pass Thomas. Deep post break. Mole is out there. The ball in and out of his hands, thrown just behind him. Ball contacted the hands at about the 20-yard line, but Mole had to wait for that ball to arrive. He had about a step, maybe a step and a half on Oregon, I believe.
Also back there was Ford. I thought there might have been a little bit of a face blocking type situation. I wasn't sure that the safety looked back for that, Tom, but Buena evidently, he must have got his head around there right at the last second and looked for ball. Good play to break it up.
I look at the scores, the 10-game season for Righetti. 7 times they have held their opponent to 1 touchdown or less. Little outbreak off the right side. That's a nice catch, I believe, by Grover. We'll wait and see if that was, in fact, number 10, Ben Grover, as we watch them impile. In fact, check that. That's Amaro again, the flanker back off the right side, tackled by Nava. But when you look at this, Dave, such perennial powers as Arroyo Grande. They shut them out 7-0. They lost to Paso Robles, their only loss, 7-0. San Luis Obispo, they defeated them 8-7. That just tells you a lot about the nature of the type of game, the type of football they play.
Yeah, it's hard-nosed football, there's no doubt. It's pretty much, we know what you're doing. Here we come. Stop us.
Quarterback keeper that time, Thomas, has the first down across the 45-yard line. We'll call it the 46. They'll wind the clock. 10:40 left to play before the break. 14-7 Buena. They also have the ability to score quite effectively. I'm talking about Righetti last week in that win over Glendora, 53-28. They also scored 48 against Morro Bay, and they were over 30 a couple of times as well. Here is Mole coming back to the left side. In fact, Amaro, I believe. We'll check the number. Short pickup, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Richard Amaro on, we'll call that a reverse, coming back from right to left. They'll give him a yard before Justin Ishida will bring him down. First period tackling numbers, Dave. Elliott leading the way for Righetti with 3. Darris and Winkles along with Diaz, Barry, Sean Noel, Greg Shabata all with 2. For Buena, Wozni with 2 and Oregon with 1. 9:50 and counting left before halftime. 2nd and 9 Warriors. There's that traditional wing T type of formation. 2 wing backs off either side, I should say 1 off either side. Short motion. They're going to run inside counter. A reverse play coming back inside. Nice run. Breaking tackles by Daniel Diaz. Juan and Terriano will make the stop for Buena. But that was stacked up right about the line of scrimmage, Dave. Just a good job by Diaz getting through for about 4 yards.
Yeah, I think big old Anthony Wozni had him at the line of scrimmage, let him get away. You know, he just kind of overran it just enough. He stopped, put on the brakes, and Wozni went by him. But luckily, Interiano was there to make the stop.
3rd and 7, single back in the backfield, wide slot off the right side. There's a split in, aligned left. Thomas to pass, outbreak, nice delivery, nice move, I believe by Mole. Mole for the first down out of the backfield. In fact, that time he was aligned as a flanker back off the right side. He's got the first down before Randy Nava will bring him down. What a great athletic move here by Mole, Dave.
Yeah, he almost hurdles Nava. He sees him coming, tries to go up and over and keep going, and just didn't quite have enough foot underneath him.
That was
to get
a
it back
highlight
down.
reel
That was
play
nice
by Mr. Mole.
You bet.
That's the kind of thing that will cause the opposing coaches to shake their heads just a little bit in disbelief, if nothing else. He's a great athlete. He's only a junior, Ryan Mole. In fact, they have 6 starters, 6 juniors starting on this offensive football team as the penalty flag will come down. That's going to be, I believe, 2 people moving at the same time. One of the guys was the motion back, Daniel Diaz, from right to left. I think somebody on the offensive front also moving a little bit. So this will probably be 5 yards marked off against Buena's Bulldogs.
Yeah, nice call. You know, you saw the same thing I did. Yeah, I thought for sure that we were going to have an illegal motion situation, but I think the outside linebacker on the near side has been lining up in the neutral zone, and finally the lines judge just said, you know, hey, I can't let this keep going on, and hopefully he's explaining that to the young man so he doesn't line up that way. And
clock will move, 8:21 and counting. 1st and 5 yards to go. There's that motion again from right to left. There's a drop-off play to Mole. He's got lots of running room. 30, 25, 20. Sprint to the end zone. 10, 5, inside of 5, left corner of the end zone. Indication is, no indication yet. There it is. That's another touchdown by Mole. So Ryan Mole explosively off the left side will score again. Unofficially 35 yards to perhaps even it up, Dave.
Yeah, this is a nice move. Again, the misdirection. Look at the hole he's got, though. He oversteps a man at the line of scrimmage, but then he makes people miss right there. You betcha. He gives him a little leg action, and then it's just a race to the end zone. He's trying to outrun Ford, and Ford is unable to get there. He showed some excellent speed on that run.
Did you see the change of speed exhibited that time by Mole? Extra point try on the way, and that's good. We have a 14-14 tie. He's got about 2 or 3 different gears, it looks like, Dave.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. You know, a lot of guys have that kind of a speed, and they don't have that extra gear, but he just showed you that he does. He also made a real sweet move to make a tackler miss downfield about 15 yards deep into the defensive backfield. So he's got the total package here, and he's only a junior. That is scary for the rest of the league.
CIF Southern Section Division IV first-round playoff game tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. 8:06 left to play before halftime. We have a 14-14 tie between the Pac-5 League's 3rd team, and we're talking about the seeded team out of that particular league. Of course, they were tri-champions atop that Pac-5 championship standing list, along with Paso Robles and San Luis Obispo. So I think that number 3 is somewhat misleading. Of course, in fact, maybe a lot misleading. Buena, number 2 team out of the Channel League.
Yeah, very deceptive at 9-1. They obviously know what to do on the football field, Tony.
And they will kick it away. Leif Vicker, we expect to see kick it away. He's number 11. We talked about him, the starting free safety driving kick. Fielded by Nava, 10-yard line, 15, 20, 25 towards the outside. Breaks a tackle, 30, 35-yard line. Inside cut back to the 40, 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Buena. Nice, effective, very efficient running that time by Randy Nava.
Well, the kicker, you mentioned Vickery, he kind of outkicked his coverage on that line drive, goes all the way deep to Nava just on a rope. So it gives him time to set up behind his group of blockers in front of him, and he sees a little seam to the outside, cuts it to the outside, makes a couple guys miss. Nava's very, very good on the special teams as well as his defensive backfield play, Tom, and just a hard-nosed kid, good runner. There
you see George Contreras, the outstanding defensive coordinator here for the Buena Bulldogs. 1st and 10, Buena. Double flanker off the right side. Owen Judkins in motion. Play action fake. They come back right side, the short side to Garfield. He's across the 45 to the 47. That's a nice 5-yard pickup on 1st down by Alex before he's brought down by Danny Lauer. That last touchdown, exceptional drive by Righetti to score. You know, it's interesting. I look at the numbers of this defensive football team, Dave, of Righetti, giving up on average only 10.9 points per ball game, and that includes last week's ball game when they gave up 28. So they're very, very effective defensively, shutting down the opposition. Here's Garfield coming back left midfield. He's got the first down and more breaking tackles. That's what we expect to see from Alex Garfield. Daniel Diaz will stop an even bigger play. Garfield's got the first down. We'll call that the 41-yard line now in Righetti territory.
Great job of blocking by his big offensive line up front, Tommy. That play just developed very nicely. As you mentioned, it takes a long time for it to develop, but the guys were there. So the line's doing a fantastic job for Buena right now.
First and 10 Bulldogs. Clock will wind itself down towards intermission. 6:55 and counting. Split back set, kind of an offset look at the backfield. Judkins in motion across the formation from right to left. There's a quick hitter off the left side of Garfield. He's got some running room, almost 10 yards on that dive play. Just a simple dive handoff, Dave, off the left side. Inside the 35 to the 33 before Diaz will bring him down again. And he'll be about a yard, maybe two, short of the first down.
Well, I like those quick hitter dive plays like that because it just throws a little bit of different timing at your defense. You know, they're used to seeing all the cross-buck action and the long developing plays, and all of a sudden, boom, you hit them real fast, real sharp, and sometimes you catch people on their heels.
That's exactly right. Of course, you pull a lot of linemen running those counters coming back one way or the other. I backfield set slot to the right side on second and short. Here's a good play-action play on second and short over the middle. That ball intended downfield for Strebel, I believe. Strebel was well covered, the bracket front and back coverage. Vicker was there along with Amaro. But I like the call on second and short. You figure this is 4-down territory. You have at least two more plays to come back with a big running back Garfield. You have a pretty good shot, you think, of picking up that first down, so why not go for the score over the top on that play?
You bet. It's a throwaway down, and it's a real head-scratcher for the defense.
Load formation off the right side. I think premature movement by Garfield as he kind of rocked out of his stance before the snap of the football. So this should be at the 5-yard mark off against the Bulldogs.
Well, this isn't what Buena wants to do to itself right now, Tommy. They've got themselves down back in the scoring position. They don't want to be having silly procedural type penalties that are just lack of focus and concentration for a second. And it doesn't take long to have that happen to you, and all of a sudden you make a mistake. So they need to get themselves back into that killer mode, into that cut the throat mode here. Get after it.
Third and we'll call it. 7 yards to go now for the first down. Off play action, rolling right, Cushing to pass, well protected over the middle. Catch is made. That's a nice catch by Cole. I like the way he went out with the hands to receive the ball softly. Leif Vicker on the stop for Righetti, but that's a nice route, nice find by the quarterback Cushing.
The Cushing almost waited too long to throw this ball. He really has Cole open much earlier, but he had to push his man away. You see him push Williams away. His backside tackle was blocking for him, and he couldn't throw till he got him off of him. So it held it up a little bit, but still a great route by Cole downfield.
First and 10, Buena trying to reclaim the lead. Double flanker off the short side. Again, Judkins in motion out of the inside flanker back spot. They'll come back right to Garfield, piling towards the 20-yard line, driving, I should say, towards the 20. Greg Shibata will make the stop along with Chris Elliott. But again, the big guys up front, leading the way, J.D. Probosco, and he's quite the escort, I guess you might say, downfield, 6'6", 290.
Oh, definitely. And also there, big number 53, Ben Tipton from his left guard position. We also had a nice conversation prior to the game with Brian Jaton's mom. She was real happy to see that he's been playing so well here for Buena this year, having a fantastic year. The center.
Key member of that outstanding offensive line on second and short. Again, Judkins in motion. They'll give the ball off to Garfield across the 20. He's got the first down. They'll mark that down probably around the 17-yard line. First and 10 Bulldogs. Diaz and Darris with the stop. Double D for the Righetti Warriors. 4:45 and counting before halftime. 14-14. But Buena trying to reclaim the lead here, Dave.
Well, they put together some really nice drives so far here, Tom. They're nice sustained drives. They're nice clock-using drives. And if it wasn't for a couple big, real quick scores by Righetti, they'd be up 14-7 or 14-0. So I'm really happy to see Buena's drive so far.
Goes backfield once again. Quarterback keeper, quarterback draw up the middle. Cushing across the 15 to the 13-yard line. Not a bad play on first down. You get 4, maybe 5 before Danny Lauer steps up to make the play for the Warriors. It's good use of clock as well. George Contreras talked about the fact that, well, you guys might be home early tonight because both teams like to run the football. Get that clock moving downhill and basically just try to be efficient with what you do.
You bet. Saw Danny Lauer get up off that last play. Tom dragging his left leg. Going to have to keep an eye on him. He's a big part of that middle of that defense, and they can't stand to lose him.
2nd and 6 from the 13-yard line. Again, they'll drop it off to Garfield. Nice patience inside the 10. Drives towards the 5. Nice balance. You see him spinning. About a spin and a half as Winkles, I believe, Amaro, also A.J. Berry in the vicinity. But watch the great balance here, Dave.
Well, he's done this all year. Every game we've seen him play, he waits for those guys to get over there. There's big J.D. Probasco. He just kind of rides him, gets an extra 3 or 4 yards out of that just because he waited. He was patient. He didn't get ahead of his blockers. So nicely done. And
Dave, we've got some good news for all the Ventura County High School football fans. With about 9 minutes left to play in the second quarter, up the road a piece in Oxnard, the Yellow Jackets on top, 21-0 over West Torrance. So we, of course, like to see that. We like good high school football, but we've always enjoyed doing our Ventura County telecast over the years, both on TV and radio, and we're very impressed with all the players, the coaches, Mark Beckham, of course, being one of them at Oxnard High School. It looks good so far, at least, for the Yellow Jackets.
Hopefully they can hang on and win that. It'd be nice to see them go on to the next round.
And that is a first down. You see it. They stretch the chain out. It would be very nice to see a Buena Oxnard matchup in round number 2. Lots of football left to play. We have to kind of let it play itself out at both fields. But again, it's something that could come to pass.
You bet. This offensive line unit seems to be wearing down Righetti a little bit here, Tommy. I don't know if you've been noticing it, but it looks like they're keeping after him, and that's kind of what Buena's done all year long. They just wear you out, and a little bit of a size mismatch here against the defensive front of Righetti is starting to show up.
1st and 10 for the 6-yard line. Garfield is the setback off the right side. They'll come counter back right, trying to get inside the 5-yard line. He will to about the 4. And I think that's a good point, Dave. You look at the numbers up front offensively for Buena as Berry makes the stop. Buena goes 260, about 270, 220, 220, and 290. When you factor in the tight end at about 250, you compare and contrast that to Righetti up front. They're 260 and 215 inside at the tackles. Their ends at 245 and 215, but when you're running tackle to tackle, you do have a little bit of an advantage size-wise up there.
Yeah, I think you do too, and especially when you take a guy like Probasco and pull him and put him around the end on somebody that's 215 and he's 290. That's a big mismatch.
2nd and goal from the 4.5. Ishida across the formation. Garfield off the left, steps inside. He's got a touchdown. What a great move by Alex. Planted the left foot off the left side, saw the running lane open up. He's in the end zone to score. Buena back on top.
Well, you mentioned his up and down speed, his north-south speed, but he's really got excellent quickness as well, good feet, and he's just going to make a nice little move here. He lets the defenders overrun him. This is another type of patience here. Good job sealing down inside by Cole there.
Set up Berry, I believe.
You bet, and great job on the block. You can see the guys overran him. Can't do that against Garfield. He was going to come back against the grain on you and make you pay every time.
I believe that was Winkles' 2-point conversion. I believe this is a set play back of the end zone. That's going to be picked off. Good job by Diaz on the pick. It looked like they came out of that looking for the 2-point conversion. I'm talking about Garrett Cushing, but the snap was not good enough to allow him to come up right away. He tried to get the handle on it before he got up.
Yeah, and they kind of rushed it a little bit, probably getting anxious. It's not every day they go for that 2-pointer, so that's all right. They're up by 6, and it's a good way to go in at halftime. They just got to keep Righetti from scoring again. As quick as they score, they could have another touchdown before they go in here.
20-14, Buena, 2:17 left to play before halftime from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. We're going to take a look. Again, you see the roll off the right side. Cushing had a receiver, not really a passing lane there. Back of the end zone, I believe that was Corey Ford. Dave, you identified him.
Yeah, Ford was there, and also Cole, but Cole was back to his left, and as he's rolling to his right, I think he lost sight of him. He actually had Cole underneath the goalpost and pretty open. Didn't have anybody around him, but he couldn't see him anymore since he had kind of rolled past that point on the field.
Luis Gamino, there's the low driving boundary kick, hits one of the up guys who is, I guess, intelligent in the sense that he jumped right on top of that Mark Malenko. So Malenko had it bounce off his chest area, fell right back on top of it in a hurry. That's a live ball. You don't want to give up anything. Already down 20-14 with 2:13 left to play before halftime. 58-yard, 11-play drive for the score by Buena to take the lead again, 20-14. Still lots of time. Little stop right off the left side, catch is made. Spinning through tacklers to about the 34, maybe the 35-yard line. Nice catch out there by Derek Sedin. Sedin with a catch, Bud Crudo with a stop. The inside backer for Buena. Second and about 2 yards to go. Single back in the backfield. Here's the twin formation. 2 left, 2 right. Again, Thomas, 3-step drop. Stop right off the right side. A little bit too high. Contact, that was intended for Grover. On coverage was Randy Nava. And Dave thought he potentially saw a penalty flag or a penalty situation with nothing called, I guess.
I thought it was a little bit of a late hit out there. A nice job by big number 77, Andrew Gonzalez, who got a big paw up in the quarterback's face. I think forced that overthrow on that pass play. He just got enough of a hand up to make the flight of the ball be a little bit over the receiver's outreached hands.
Third and a yard and a half. Thomas drop play up the middle and will drop it off the mole. This guy is dangerous. He's got the first down, steps out of bounds. In fact, still in the field of play at about the 42-yard line before he's finally driven out by Robert Oregon. So that will save some clock. 1:38 left to play before halftime. It's 20-14 Buena. And a nice job by Mole. You want to talk about a guy who combines speed and quickness. He definitely fits the bill.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. We haven't seen too many backs this year with his kind of combination of speed, quickness, and moves. He looks great. He's only a junior.
Listed Dave at 5'9", 165. Out of the shotgun, some movement up front, nothing called. Thomas to pass with plenty of time. Deep post break intended downfield. That was almost picked off by Ford. Great job setting that particular play up. Ryan Gonzalez was the intended receiver, but that's what we call baiting a quarterback. Free safety, just hanging back, force the throw, then basically drive to the football for the pick.
You bet. He was back there lurking in the weeds, as it were, and he almost picks this up. If Gonzalez doesn't do a good job to get a hand in there and cause that ball to bounce off Corey Ford's hands, then it could have been a big play for the defense.
They'll stay in a double twin, single back to backfield. Again, here's that little shuffle pass underneath. They fake that, rolling right Thomas to pass. Will he get out of bounds? Trying to get there, he will. Chased down from behind, necktied by Josh Legat, it looked like. Legat was there. Ishida was also there. It looked like Thomas was on the pony trying to get out of bounds, barely got there.
Yeah, he did, and he still picked up about 3 yards, but more importantly, he did get out of bounds and stop that clock. And that was pretty tough, really being run down by those guys on the fringe like that, and luckily they were able to hit him before he went out of bounds.
3rd and 7 with 1:22 left to play before halftime. Again, out of the shotgun, Thomas to pass with time. Outbreak, catches made by Gonzalez. A nice defensive play right there as the ball arrived was Justin Ishida. Timeout's going to be called by Righetti. 1:14 left to play before the break. And I've been impressed with Justin Ishida throughout the course of this campaign, going back to his selection as our player of the game against Camarillo.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. He's not really huge, but he does come up and hit you. And good in the open field, as you saw right there.
Pretty good size, though, at about 190. Don't forget to find out more about our Game of the Week coverage. Visit the website, which will be coming up shortly on a graphic bottom of your screen. There it is. You'll find a complete listing of the games we'll be covering, as well as dates and air times. And if you're interested in being a Game of the Week sponsor or in getting a copy of any of our games, you'll also find contact information at that website. So please check it out. 4th at about 5 yards to go. 1:14 left to play before halftime. From the left hash mark, Righetti will go for it, trailing by 6 at 20-14. Single back in the backfield. Thomas straight back to pass. He's got some time. Screen play off the right side of Mole. He's got the first down and more. Breaking tackles 45, 42-yard line. So Ryan Mole has the first down. They'll stop the clock, reset the chain. Justin Ishida on the stop once again for Buena. And depending on how many timeouts you have, of course, you always have the snap of the ball, the throw to the ground, the incomplete pass to save some time. They're going to wind the clock coming up on 1 minute to play before halftime. Thomas, three-step drop, stop right off the left side, catch is made up high. Nice job by Sedin. Tackle on the play by Oregon. Good use of clock so far in this drive by Righetti. They find themselves all the way down to the 30-yard line in Buena territory with still 54 seconds left to play before the break.
Got to have a big tip of the hat there to Eric Murchison, too, the big right tackle. Doing a great job so far on Wozni. What a tough assignment, but he's keeping him away off of his quarterback.
Thomas rolls right to pass. He's got a receiver breaking towards the end zone. Amaro just over his extended left arm, right about the 2-yard line, incomplete. Pretty well thrown football by Thomas. Ishida in coverage. But that looked like that corner break by Amaro, and he was open.
Yeah, he was. He had him beat by a good step. Corey Ford was coming over from his free safety position, but I don't think he'd have got there in time if the ball had been thrown well, and he could have caught that. I think he had it pretty well placed right in between the defenders.
Good news for Righetti. Clock will stop. 43 seconds left to play before halftime. 20-14 Buena. Thomas will drop it off underneath the mold, breaks towards the sideline, 25, 23-yard line. So he gets about 7 yards. The clock will continue to run. Tom Bueno with the stop. Timeout will be called once again by the Warriors.
So they still have one more timeout here, Tom, they can use. They got 33 seconds. They could get off 3 or 4 more plays here. They do have to go about 23 yards to get it in, but nice running. And that play's worked all night for them for big gains.
And Dave, they have an outstanding kicker. Leif Viker has already converted on 6 field goals
I
this
just like
season.
His name.
That's a great name. Sounds like a
Leif
Viking.
Viker.
The leader of a Viking expedition or something
Soap
like
opera
that.
star, you know.
Could be.
Could be. Rock and roll singer, lead guitar player.
He could do a lot of things, I guess, with that name, huh?
Great name, Leif Viker. He's all-time on the
all-time name list.
For sure.
Definitely in the year 2002, we'll put him right close to the top. He's a good football player, too. Very talented, multi-talented guy. Can kick the ball, plays outstanding defense as the free safety. 3rd and 3 out of the shotgun. Thomas to pass. Nearing the end of the first half of play, over the middle, he's got a receiver, Viker. That's going to be picked off. I think he got underneath that Ford, and he does. Speaking of Viker, that ball was intended for Leif. He didn't seem to see the flight of the ball at all.
No, and it might have been tipped a little bit. Somebody coming up the middle, I think it might have been big number 77, Gonzalez. I'm not sure, though. We're going to see here if he got a hand on it or not right there. And it didn't quite get a number on that. And the way the ball flew, I think it might have got tipped a little bit, Tom. That was a big play for the defense.
So Ford almost had the pick a couple of plays ago. This time he definitely got both arms underneath. He's got the pick, 27 seconds left to play before halftime. This will be the snap drop to the knee play we would expect. There it is. And that should effectively wind the clock down to the end of the second period of play. Buena will go into the locker room at intermission, Dave, with a 20-14 lead.
Well, they got to be happy right now with what's happened so far. I mean, they've held Righetti to only 14 points here, and they've scored more than what Righetti's usually allowing. So a good first half for the Dogs.
20-14, Turner Field, Larrabee Stadium, CIF Southern Section Division IV playoff game. And there we have the indication. That will do it for the first 24 minutes of action. 20-14 Buena at halftime. Reminder, tonight's game is sponsored in part by Ventura Rental, still the best in sales, rentals, and services with 2 locations and a third-party rental location to serve you with daily, weekly, and monthly rates. Don't invest, rent the best. And by Dpr Mortgage. For home purchasing or refinancing, Dpr Mortgage has a variety of loan programs customized to fit your home loan needs. Today's rates are low, but they may not last. Call today toll-free to find out how much you might be able to save. They're at 1-800-327-9437. And by Fresh Catch, there's no fresher fish than Fresh Catch, with 2 locations to serve you in Oxnard and Newbury Park. And of course by Tony's Burrito Hut. Buy 5 corn burritos for only $3 and get 5 more corn burritos free by mentioning this ad. With 2 locations to serve you in the Central Shopping Center at 9286 Telephone Road and in the College Square Center at 154 North Ashwood Avenue in Ventura. Join us soon at Tony's Burrito Hut and discover the flavor. The score at halftime, Turner Field, Larrabee Stadium, CIF Southern Section Division IV first round playoff game tonight. Buena on top, 20-14 over Righetti. We'll be back. Score at halftime, Buena 20-14 over Righetti. Reminder that tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Tony's Burrito Hut. Buy 5 corn burritos for only $3 and get 5 more corn burritos free by mentioning this ad. With 2 locations to serve you in the Central Shopping Center at 9286 Telephone Road and in the College Square Center at 154 North Ashwood Avenue in Ventura. Join us soon at Tony's Burrito Hut and discover the flavor. And by Ventura Rentals, still the best in sales, rentals, and services with 2 locations and a third-party rental location to serve you with daily, weekly, and monthly rates. Don't invest, rent the best. Let's get right to our highlight package. Some outstanding plays in the first half. Buena on top, 20-14. CIF Southern Section D4 first round playoff action, Dave Wheeler. And I was surprised, I think you and I both, with the number of pass plays in the first half. First play offensively for Righetti. They go 60 yards, Ryan Mole, and score.
Well, Ryan Mole, very impressive in the first half, Tom. He's got explosive speed and good moves, and they just block well for him up front. Big line in front of him. He finds a little seam, and boom, he's into the defensive backfield in a hurry.
Talking about big plays, how about this 69-yard touchdown play? You talked about it right here. It looked like he was stacked up, Justin Ishida. He exploded out of that pile up there for the additional or the remaining about 45 yards to score. He's got great speed. At that point in time, after the extra point, we had a 7-7 tie.
You bet. He ran through the tackle of Thomas Clark. Clark went off hurt after that play. Haven't seen him come back in since then. Here's a nice little play by the quarterback, Cushing. He does a double fake here, freezes the backers, and he just sees, hey, I've got a lane all the way to that pylon, and he goes, takes it, scores.
Garrett played a very efficient ball game in the first half, leading Buena to 20 points. Watch this move here off the catch. Great play by Mole. Not only 1,317 yards rushing coming in, also leading the way receiving-wise with 28. Exceptional athlete, and here he goes, Dave, to score again.
He makes a great move there to make somebody miss. I think it might have been Oregon off the fringe or Nava coming in from the corner, and then he just races to the end zone ahead of Ford. Great speed, great foot speed.
So Righetti has a lot of offensive weapons, but how about this guy? What a nice plant there off the left side by Garfield. That was the final touchdown of the first half by the Bulldogs. They missed the 2-point conversion try, and you see that coming up here. You see Cushing trying to find one of the guys back in the end zone, I believe Ford, but that was picked off by Diaz.
Yeah, and then they did a good job coming down the field. They actually looked like they were getting themselves in position to score, but Corey Ford comes up with a big pick to save that. And that's how it ended at the end of the first half.
We're going to take a look at some of the stats of note provided once again by the Dr. Jerry Guerin. I think both teams efficient moving the football. We talked about the fact that especially Righetti, I think we were somewhat surprised with the number of times that they threw the ball. But talking to their head coach Greg Dickinson, he said we are probably the second most balanced team in the league, the Pac-5 league, in terms of pass-run balance, maybe a little bit behind Paso Robles. Pretty even numbers, 199 to 169 total. Buena with a 30-yard margin. The 174 rushing for Buena, just as we would expect. 119 for the Warriors, 50 passing yards. I think the 2 turnovers you see there very much hurt the cause of Righetti's Warriors. Time of possession dominated by Buena.
Huge, and shows you again what Buena was able to do when they had their hands on the football, Tom. They marched very methodically down the field. They used up a lot of clock, and if it wasn't for a couple of big plays by Mole, this might be a bigger margin than what they've got right now. But Righetti's still in the ballgame, only 6 points down.
We have a couple of scores and other CIF Division IV playoff action played tonight at other venues throughout Ventura County. First of all, at halftime at Oxnard, the Yellow Jackets on top over West Torrance, 28-0. So looking pretty good for the Yellow Jackets. They will play the winner of this game next week. And I know, Dave, you have an update on that Moore Park Camarillo score.
You bet. Moore Park up 14-0 with the 68-18 mark of the third quarter. So they seem to be pretty much in charge as well, although I'm sure that there's a lot of game left to play there. With Camarillo, you never know how they can be, too. Garrett Barlow can make some points happen on the board pretty quickly.
And we also understand the Lakers on top, 42-41 at halftime over the Bulls. We assume that Shaquille O'Neal back in action tonight, whether as a starter or off the bench. The doctor says, yes, he is, in fact, back in action. And very quickly before we start the second half, you have a very close friend for many years, a guy that I have met, I consider a friend, a coaching colleague, a guy that I respected tremendously as a football player, a great receiver from Moore Park and Royal High School in years gone by. Of course, I'm talking about Joe Malkinson, and I know that Joe and Terry, his lovely wife of many years, suffered a great loss, and I think it bears mentioning.
Oh, sure. You know, Jean Whitefoot, she passed on. Great lady in the community, member of the Historical Society over in Simi Valley. And her husband, Dwayne, and she ran a company called Simi Valley Electric for a number of years, starting in the early 60s. It has a real touch to the sports world here in the county. They put up a lot of the lights in a lot of the stadiums around the county, including, I believe, Moore Park College, including Simi Valley High School. So she'll be missed. Great lady and just a real good charity worker for causes throughout the county.
Second half underway. Nathan Gibson fields it, brings it back across the 30 to about the 32-yard line, where Buena will take over first and 10. Daniel Diaz down on the stop for Righetti's Warriors. Of course, Joe was a tremendous athlete, a great football player at Royal and Moore Park Community College. And the reason I know that he's a great receiver, because he didn't particularly like to block. He didn't particularly like to do anything other than catch the ball and run down the field, but he did that very, very well.
He did it well enough to be a little All-American at Northwestern College of Iowa back in the early 70s. So a big part of that Dennis Young to Joe Malkinson tandem.
First down play counter off the right side across the 30. Garfield for a very short pickup. I had the pleasure of covering Mr. Malkinson in some passing league games when Cal Lutheran matched up against Moore Park's Joe Malkinson, Denny Young and company. Very quick, great athlete, as we mentioned, great hands. Nathan Mitchell with a stop for Righetti. And a great coach as well. Outstanding football and basketball coach.
Yep, had a great program up in Elk Grove, California by Sacramento for a number of years on the basketball court.
Double tight end, double flanker, Ishida Moshe from left to right, single back Garfield off play action, pushing the pass. Trying to look down the sideline, he's going to go down. Pressure off the edge, came in a hurry. Nathan Mitchell with the tackle, coming hard off the left edge. Pump fake, looked like they were trying to run, we'll call it a wheel route or an orbit route down the sideline to Ishida.
Yeah, it just took a little bit too long to develop. Mitchell's in there, I think, in replacement of big Chris Elliott. Keep an eye on that development to see if Elliott's just getting a blow here, if he's had maybe an injury situation. But Mitchell making the most of his time in there in a hurry. In fact, Chris Elliott back in the ball game now, so he does leave, but he made his presence there known real quickly for 2 plays.
That was a great job by Cushing, ball security-wise. The big hit, he's able to maintain control of the ball on 3rd and 10. Trouble with the snap. They run the reverse back to the left side to Ishida. He's got blockers out in front. He's got lots of running room. He's got the first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Big play on 3rd and 10 by Ishida. Leigh Finker with the tackle off the free safety, but this guy, Ishida, whenever he gets the ball in his hand, something big usually happens.
Nice double reverse hand to Garfield. Garfield passes off. Cushing leading out in front along with one of the big linemen coming out on the side. Also, I think great block thrown downfield by number 5, Josh Strebel. One of the wide receivers did a good job on a nice stock block out there to help spring him.
I got to get the isotoners off so I can pick through these papers here. Strebel in motion from right to left. They'll drop it back off on a counter play to Garfield. That's well defended. Not a whole lot there. I don't think any gain at all. Diaz in the vicinity, along with Nathan Mitchell once again. First half numbers, Dave. Garfield, 20 carries for 90 yards. That's a very efficient 4.5 per carry. Has the 1 touchdown. Cushing, 5 carries for 15 yards. Cushing also very effective, 4 of 7 passing for 25 yards. Cole with 2 catches, Ford with 1, Garfield with 1. 2nd and 10. Buena, double flanker off the right side. A little stop route off the right side of Judkins across midfield, 48-yard line. That's a nice pickup by Owen Judkins. Daniel Diaz with the stop once again for Righetti. 9-14 and counting, 3rd period. Buena on top, 20-14 over Righetti.
Buena's come out really quickly here in this second half, Tom, and they're moving the ball really well. And, that's bad news for Righetti. Again, the defense spent a lot of time in the first half out on the field, 17 minutes out of the 24, and it looks like it's going to start happening to them again in this half, and you got to wonder when that's going to wear these guys down.
They stay double flanker this time, wide side of the football field. That's the left, tight end right. Counter coming back left. Here's the reverse coming back to Yoshida. Lots of running room. 40, 35, steps inside 30. Knocked off his feet inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. I don't know what's happening out there, but the edge, they're getting outflanked off that reverse right now off the exchange. Nobody out there for Yoshida.
Well, I think they saw that in the first half. They got a real, right there, you see a man overrun the play. That's number 55 coming across, Nathan Mitchell. And they're taking advantage of that. You know, this defense for Righetti reacts very quickly, and they go to the ball very quickly, and they're able to set it up so they're coming back the opposite direction and catching them off guard. Nice block out front, too, by big Brian Jeton from his center position. Actually pulled out to the right side there and got a nice block out in front of the running back.
First and 10 from the 25. Play action fake. Looking to pass Cushing. He's got some time. Now we'll break down the protection. Getting there on the stop. That's going to be Winkles, I believe, the backer. Read that, comes across to make the play. So nice play by Noah. That will be a loss of maybe 4 or 5 yards. Good coverage downfield will force the sack. In fact, we'll mark that a 7-yard loss back inside the 30-yard line, back to the 32. Make that the 33-yard line. There you see Coach Scott. 7:39 in counting, period number 3, 2014 Buena. Pretty good looking drive, perhaps except for that last play, but second and long, you still have plenty of time to get that back. Just kind of chip away here. Double flanker off that left side once again. Tight end right. Garfield is single back in the backfield. Had 90 yards at halftime. Stribble in motion. He's got the ball on the reverse, coming back right side. Steps inside 30-yard line, kind of crawling across the 30 to the 29. So that will set up third and still about 14 yards to go. Josh Thornton on the stop for Righetti.
Josh Thornton, another one of those clean jerseys in for Righetti. They are doing some substitution here, Tom. We see Mitchell has just been in for another 3 or 4 plays, and he's back off the field. So they're getting some blows for these guys on the defensive side. Starting to feel maybe a little fatigue out there for the Righetti Warriors.
We talked about Garfield, 90 yards of rush offense at halftime. How about Ryan Mole? 5 carries for 111 yards. That's 22.2 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, with the longest 60 on the game's first play. Off play action again, out of the backfield. They try to throw backdoor orbit to Garfield. That ball, Dave, was definitely tipped at the line of scrimmage. It might have been big number 78, Chris Elliott.
Well, he's a big old guy to try to throw over. He's all 6'5", about 245. And I think maybe also if Garfield just kept running that pass pattern, he looked like he held up just slightly. He might have been able to run under that football, but good coverage out there on the perimeter by 33, Luke Darris.
Josh Thomas, the quarterback, outstanding junior for the Warriors, 6 of 12 passing at halftime for 50 yards, had the 1 pick. Ryan Mole, 2 catches for 19. Derek Sedin, a couple of catches for 19. Amaro with 1 and Gonzalez with 1. 4th and 13 yards to go from inside the 30. We'll call it the 29. Double flanker left. Here comes a reverse fake off the left side. Garfield, lots of running room. 20, he's got the first down inside of 15. Out of bounds at the 12. First and 10, Bulldogs.
Boy, I like that play. They run it with the reverse. They come back and fake it. And there was nobody out on the fringe. They just did a great job of selling somebody on that right side. You can see, actually it was a great block, I believe, by Cole, crashing down that left side. And there's just nobody out there. You see Garfield's off to the races. What a nice play.
So that should put him over 100 yards as he nears 2,000 on the year. Alex Garfield, 1837 coming in tonight. First and 10 Bulldogs trying to add to their 2014 halftime lead. Again, inside slot back motion across the formation. Garfield up the middle near the 5-yard line. They'll spot that right at the 5-yard line. That's a nice pickup of near 8 yards. Will set up 2nd and 2. Tackle on the play by Richard, make that Daniel Diaz. And one thing I notice about this defense, maybe it's just tonight, but Righetti seems to be very efficient from tackle to tackle. They have more problems on the edge. Perhaps that's reflective of the type of offenses they play up in the Pac-5.
Well, it might be. I mean, they're used to running against pretty much tackle-to-tackle type offenses in that Pac-5, and they're seeing a pretty wide variety of different styles and plays coming out of Buena.
Garfield has the first down. That will be 1st and goal right about the 1-yard line. Updated numbers on Alex prior to that carry. 29 rush attempts for 109 yards of rush offense, up to 4.7 per carry. Has the 1 touchdown, and Buena about a yard removed from extending that 2014 lead to 26-14. 5:30 left to play in period number 3. High backfield set, double tied. Their shoe-to-shoe splits up front. This should be the fullback lead. There it is off the right side. Garfield, that's a touchdown. Late indication, but he is across that goal line for the score. Garfield, 26-14. Buena extends that halftime lead.
Well, they're just really dominating the line of scrimmage right now. You can watch the line surge here, and they're just getting off big time up front. You see big number 53 going across, getting a block. That's Ben Tipton. And they're getting such a line surge here and such a lack of surge on the part of Righetti that they're able to push that into the end zone from 1 yard out. And they even pulled Tipton across the formation. So great job by that offensive group.
And they will go for 2 to try to make up for that lost extra point the last time. Here's a counter reverse coming back to the right side to Ishida. This time he's going to be met. Good penetration in the backfield. Well played that time. We talked about Nathan Mitchell. That time staying as deep as the ball makes the nice play on Ishida.
Good discipline by Mitchell on that play. That's what he's supposed to do. He overran one once before, and you can say, okay, that's inexperience. Maybe he hasn't had a lot of reps, but he learned very quickly. You can see on this play, he stays as deep as the ball, and he's right there waiting for Ishida to come back across. Good head and front tackle. That's textbook right there. Nice job by Nathan Mitchell.
Speaking of nice job, again, great job tonight by our Adelphia crew led by the general, the 5-star general, Joe Beltran, doing his usual fabulous job, orchestrating everybody here tonight. Our director, Max J. MacGyver, engineer, digital replay specialist, Carl Holm, our production manager, as we mentioned, Joe Beltran, our on-site producer, floor manager, the guy that has all the answers, Brian Fortune. He's got the money bags as well. All these bonuses he's getting for bringing in all these great advertisers. It's tremendous. I'm going to ask him for a loan if I can get one. Charles Ramirez on graphics, Chris Beltran on audio tonight, Tom Prinkleton on camera number 1. The great Phil Taggart on camera number 2. He's reading through some of Dave Wheeler's outstanding artistic poetry works when he gets the time. Here's the low kick. Will bound towards one of the short return people. Trying to break across the 30 to the 35-yard line. That's Mark Malenko again. Corey Ford comes up to make the stop on kick cover for Buena. Bill Goodman doing a great job. He gets some great shots, field-level shots. That one in the first half on an incomplete pass was very much reflective of the type of work we get from Bill.
You bet. There's some of his work right there, showing us a ground-level view from the sideline. And
through the window.
You betcha.
Admar Simbarossi, our production assistant tonight, along with Mark Rainey, Matt Zavala, and all-pro free safety Mark Carrier. Up the middle here is Mole. He's across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. That's a short pickup of about 2 before Juan Interiano will bring him down.
Interiano is there as well as big number 77. That's Mr. Andrew Gonzalez. And we've talked about him, boy. That guy takes up a lot of space in the inside of that interior line, and he just keeps coming. He just keeps coming. He's like the opposite of the offensive line. He's just wearing down that offensive unit from Righetti.
And you better call him Mister, because he's an outstanding wrestler as well as football player. 3-step drop to pass. Thomas over the top. Thrown into traffic, intended for Stephen Smith, the big tight end. That comes up incomplete. Lots of black helmeted, or dark helmeted, I should say, Buena Bulldog defenders in the area. Randy Nava, the closest guy to the play. The most recent touchdown, 70-play, 13-yard drive to score by Buena to extend the lead 26-14 over Righetti's Warriors. 4:34, Dave, left to play in the third.
And these guys look very fresh on this defensive unit from Buena, Tom. They haven't spent a lot of time on the field tonight, so pretty crisp.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 7 yards to go. Good snap, rolling right to pass is Thomas. Gets the corner turn, will tuck it away, try to get the first down. Slides to the ground. The question here is, did he slide too soon? We'll wait for the mark. I think he's going to get the first down. 45-yard line, that should be enough. Justin Ishida comes up to cover up Thomas. I think the early indication is he will have the first down. Clock stop, 4:20 left to play in the third. They're going to move the chain.
And very frustrated man out there has got to be Anthony Wozni. You know, they got him coming in off the fringe tonight from that left end position more so than the tackle. At least a lot of times he ends up being out on the end on the weak side. He's been so close to getting the quarterback 3 or 4 times tonight. He just almost got him there.
Thomas exceptionally quick. He will roll left to pass under pressure. Here comes one of the big inside guys. That might be Interiano. Somebody on the trail to make the play. The tackle, Serrano. Interiano was there to basically force the move back inside where Serrano make the tackle.
Yeah, Serrano's got to go over and give Interiano a nice little handshake, say, hey, thanks for the assist, buddy. because that's what it is right here. You can see him coming in. He almost gets him. Somehow, quarterback gets away from his grasp, but there's Serrano to come on and clean up there after the fact. Nice job.
Thomas has very quick feet. He's an outstanding catcher in baseball. He played, I believe, in Venezuela, some type of national team that was exceptionally good this summer. He missed a lot of time passing league. There's a nice pitch and catch across midfield. Grover with the catch. Thrown just a little bit behind Ben, but he made a nice adjustment on that ball. That will set up, I guess you might say, a makeable try. Should be, I believe, third and about 2 yards, maybe 3 to go. In fact, let's call that 3rd and 4 yards to go for the first down. The ball spotted 49-yard line now in Buena territory. Tight wing off the left side is Mole. In fact, that's that wing formation. Thomas to pass with some time will pull the ball down. Could scramble for the first down. He's got Mole wide open. He drops the ball at the 25-yard line. That would have been a first down, Dave. Might have been a touchdown. That could have been a situation where Thomas could have picked it up himself on the ground, but he saw Mole on the crossing route wide open for the apparent big play. Ball a little bit low, but I know Mole would probably say I should have caught that ball.
Yeah, I think he's a little upset with himself, but in his defense, he did a great job getting open. He saw his quarterback in trouble, and you saw DBs kind of break for the quarterback because they know he can run. He found the open spot.
4th down, draw play up the middle. Mole, great move in the backfield for the first down. That's a great athletic move. You talk about redeeming yourself on the very next play. Mole has the first down. He's dropped at the 43-yard line by Randy Nava. As we check the replay, watch the play right about here, Dave, on the spin move.
Well, right there, he just gets hit pretty good, but nobody wraps him. And you can't tackle this kid without wrapping him up. You see Nava come over. He's not letting go. He's riding him like he's bulldogging a steer or something. But that's what you got to do against Mole. He's too good of a runner.
Doing a little Joaquin Real, I guess.
I like it.
The great running back, the Bronc rider, the Cowboy here from Ventura High School. Off the left side, pretty good pickup on first down. Coming up on 2:05 left to play in the third. Ishida and Datweiler. Datweiler, the closest guy. Initial contact on that particular play. That's a 7-yard pickup. Will set up 2nd and 3. Ball spotted down at the 41-yard line. Now in Buena territory. The Bulldogs on top, 26-14 over Righetti's Warriors, who are on the move. There's that wing set. They'll reset the tight end from right to left. Double wing formation, one of them in motion from right to left. In fact, he's got the ball. That's the inside counterplay to Mole. He's got the first down and more. Inside the 15 at the 10-yard line. That should be first and goal. Ryan Mole and Righetti. Touchdown saving tackle by Corey Ford.
And Mole has all of a sudden got this team fired up, Tom. He looks like he's pretty tired out there, but what a nice move on that inside reverse. And that play, that's one of the plays off of that wing T look or that fly look that is so hard to defend. Everything comes one way, and the man slips down underneath, especially Mole. You know, he's not a huge guy. He can kind of hide behind those linemen a little bit, and he did a great job there.
1st and 10 for Righetti. Here's the play coming back to the left side, stacked up. Good leg drive by the running back. That might be the tight flanker off the right side. That might be Amaro. Let's see who gets up from the bottom of the pile. That might have been Diaz as well, number 31. No team ran that last play that Mole ran for the first down better than Westlake High School, coached by George Contreras. They had a couple of guys. I remember a guy by the name of Jammin McNeil who ran that play. He ran that so quick, it was so hard to figure out who had the ball. Before you figured it out, he was usually 70 yards downfield for a score. Little fade route, left corner of the end zone. Grover is there. He goes up. Does he have the catch? There's the penalty flag. It will come down a 2nd penalty flag, so at the very least, we would expect the pass interference call perhaps against Buena. The officials will discuss the situation. There it is, pass interference against the Bulldogs. Oregon was the closest defender to that play. Off the break, off the line of scrimmage, Grover was wide open. The ball just thrown a little bit behind, Dave.
Robert just didn't look back for the football. You know, that was his mistake. He got himself beat on that little fade route, and he just put his hands up instead of looking for the football.
Penalty marked off half the distance of the goal. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Motion from left to right. Mole off the right side. Hit the backfield drop right at the 5-yard line. Buena with excellent penetration off the snap of that football. So that's no gain. That will set up second and goal. In fact, he might have lost a half a yard. Coming up on 20 seconds left to play in the third. 26-14 Buena. But very definitely Righetti in position to cut a large chunk of that lead away. They might get the snap off before the end of the third. Coming up on 5 seconds left. Offset eye in the backfield. Flanker back in motion from right to left. Movement into the neutral zone. That will be against Buena, I believe. And I don't think you can end the quarter on a penalty, so I would imagine they'll mark this off half the distance and have to run the final play here before they change ends.
I think you're right. And nice time to use that call right there. Rick Scott not too happy on the sidelines with that. His whole defensive line moved into the neutral zone. It wasn't a doubt that the flags were coming, but great job of altering the count just enough on that particular play to get the cheap half the distance, and that changes your whole play calling situation when you're 2nd and 6 versus 2nd and 3.
Always enjoy talking with the coaches. So they will, in fact, have to run one more play. They put 1 second back on the third period scoreboard. This will do it for the third period. Offset eye in the backfield, flanker back in motion. They'll drop it off to Mole again off the right side. Over the top for the touchdown. So they're right back in this football game, Dave. That was the final play of the third period. It's now 26-20 with the extra point try coming up.
Well, we know Righetti Warriors aren't going to quit coming at you, Tom. They're just not that kind of a football team. It's not that kind of a league, the Pac-5. These guys, they're going to battle you right down to the end of the wire. We expected this. We knew it was going to be close, and this kid Mo has been the difference in this ball game for Righetti. I mean, just look at him go up over the top. He's shown that he can do that. 2 or 3 plays, he's hurdled people.
Extra point try on the way. I don't know if that got between the upright, and it didn't. It sailed wide right. So that's a situation that doesn't necessarily hurt Righetti that much. They still score a touchdown, kick the extra point. They can take the lead, but it's a lot easier when you don't have to worry about kicking the extra point. We're going to take a break. Turner Field, Larrabee Stadium with a full quarter of football left to play. Buena 26, Righetti 20. We'll be back. Leif Vicker to kick it away following the Righetti touchdown. That will be fielded by Ford at the 10. 15, 20, 25, right at the middle, 30, 35 with speed, 40, 45, one man to beat. Finally knocked out at the 48-yard line. Corey Ford with the big return. That's the way to return the ball with speed right up the middle. You don't give the guys coming down the angles to make the stop.
You bet. And what a great job he did. Just found a little seam up the middle, as you mentioned. Makes a little stutter step there, but he got some good blocking to help him out. And he's just running by people at that point. He's going full speed, so nicely done there by Corey Ford.
Nice job by Vicker. Of course, it helps to have the starting free safety back to make that tackle. We've got a final score on that Moore Park Cam Rio game. We'll get to that momentarily. Off the left side, that's Garfield. He's breaking tackles. He's got a first down. What tremendous strength and desire by Garfield. Across the 45, they'll spot that down to the 40. Now in Righetti territory, A.J. Berry with the stop for Righetti's Warriors, and we'll check the replay. What great leg strength and power by Garfield here, Dave.
Well, he's that kind of runner. You know, he just keeps coming at you, chipping, and that's how he gets those big yardage. You can see right there, he just runs through about 5 or 6 tackles.
First and 10, Buena as they try to answer. They're still on top, 26-20. Strebel in motion from left to right. Offset eye on the backfield behind Garrett Cushing, doing another fine job at the helm. Garfield up the middle. This could be a touchdown. Breaking tackles, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's got a touchdown.
Showed you right there the kind of speed we've been talking about. He's been running through people. He had to run through 1 tackle to make this happen. But what a great play by Garfield, and Buena Bulldogs come right back with a 1-2 punch of their own here, Tommy. Watch him go here. He cuts off the side. He's got some good blocking out in front, but then he winds it back. He runs right through this tackle, stumbles a little bit, shows great balance, and then it's just off to the races. The final 20 yards, it's just all speed. Great job, Garfield.
32-20 as Buena extends the lead back to 12. We have a couple of scores involving 28-0. Final score from Moore Park. Moore Park's Musketeers defeat Camarillo 28-0. That is a final. And in the third period up at Oxnard, the Yellow Jackets on top of West Torrance 28-0. 2-point conversion try once again coming up. Strebel in motion. They'll drop it off to Garfield right up the middle. I think he got there that time with extra effort. The power again, Desire at the end. He's in the end zone for the two-pointer.
Great job. They needed that 2 points, too. That takes it back to 2 touchdowns. That's a very nice play. You can see right here, Garfield's going to take it. Great job of blocking up front by the line.
Beaker trying to pull him back.
Beaker, he's a tough safety for Righetti. He's been really impressive out there on both sides of the ball and with the kicking game as well, but just couldn't keep Garfield out of the end zone.
Let's take a quick look at the end of 3 numbers. Garfield, prior to that last touchdown run, 26 carries for 121, so he's up around 150 plus now. Mole, 11 carries for 155. Thomas, 7 of 15 passing for 61 for Righetti. Cushing, 5 of 9 for 30 for Buena's Bulldogs. Mole with 2 catches, Sedin with 2, Grover, Amaro, and Gonzalez all with 1 for Righetti. Michael Cole has a couple, Ishida has 1, Ford and Garfield all with 1 apiece for the Bulldogs. Total yards at the end of 3. Buena had 239 to 165 for Righetti. Time of possession still heavily weighted in favor of Buena, 24:07 to 11:53 Righetti. And I think you talked about a little bit, Dave, what that does is that type of possession with the big hogs up front pounding on you defensively up front, you start to tire a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it on the Righetti side. It's just very, very tough for them to maintain.
That ball will be kicked out of bounds. Again, the decision by Righetti will be take it at the 35 or force the kick to come again.
And that took enough of a high bounce that Randy Nava almost got down there and able to get that ball. Once it goes 10 yards, it's a live ball.
That's right. He was sprinting down that left side.
Close, man. He was very close. That would have been a big play if he'd been able to recover that ball down around the 40 and have a turnover. So somebody over there on that left side needs to be aware of that. Hey, guys, get over and get on that football. That's a live ball.
Buena anticipates that they will have to kick over.
Ball kicked out of bounds. On the kicking team, penalties decline will be taken at the 39-yard line. First down.
In fact, this time they're going to take it out of bounds where it sails out of bounds, evidently. To put this situation in perspective, Dave, Buena has 34 points already with 11-12 left to play in the fourth. Looking at some of the point totals by the teams Righetti has played, the highest point total prior to tonight, 28 points last week in the finale against Glendora, but that's a game that Righetti scored 53, so you assume that a lot of guys were playing. That might have led to a little bit more points than ordinarily they would give up. Here's Mole off the right side across the 40 to the 42 before inside linebacker Bud Crudo will step up to make the stop. Other teams that scored 20, there was only one other team that scored at least 20, Atascadero 22, in a 30-22 loss to Righetti, and Morro Bay had 18 in a 48-18 loss to the Warriors, but everybody else scored 7 points, 6 or no points. Arroyo Grande in that shutout, 7-0 to Righetti.
Well, it says a lot for this Buena offense. They're clicking on all cylinders tonight, that's for sure, and Garfield, the big reason out there. Ooh, there's one that could have been picked.
Stop right off the left side intended for Sedin, delivered a little bit too high, incomplete. Oregon on the coverage. That will set up a very important, it's getting to the point where you might say critical third down conversion try by Righetti, trailing by 2 touchdowns, 34-20, 10:36 left to play in the fourth. I guess it's at least safe to say you can't waste too many offensive possessions in the fourth period trailing by 2 scores.
No, you can't, because Buena comes right back and they run the clock. They take so much time off the clock with each drive that you need to have something happen here.
Out of the shotgun, Thomas, swing route out of the backfield. Nice catch by Mole. I don't think he's going to get the corner turn. Well defended on the edge. The closing quarterback. Corner off the right side was Oregon. He was not going to let Mole turn that corner for big yards. That will set up fourth and still about 6 yards to go for the first down. Ball at the 44-yard line in Righetti territory.
We highlighted the corners in the pregame. We talked about Nava and Oregon both, and that's something that they do well. They come up quickly on that run sport to the outside, and Earlier in the game, Mole probably would have got out there and got some extra yardage, but Robert Oregon didn't let it happen that time.
Trailing by 2, they will go for it on 4th down to pass Thomas. That's going to be picked off by Nava. He's got lots of green grass. 30, 25, 20, 15, inside of 10. He's going to score.
We just talked about it. Nava's going to get a penalty after the fact for celebrating in the end zone, I think, a little bit, but you can't blame him. And that's a great play to have that happen in the playoffs. A nice 44-yard pick return here by Randy Nava.
You know, as we check this return, the ball just a little bit overthrown as the indication coming up. He makes the pick. Dave, this looks a little bit like surfs up right here as he dives into that surf right there. Swells up, I guess, at Ventura, huh?
And that's why he got called for it. I don't know. I guess that is a little bit overly exuberant, but you can't blame the kid. What a great run back. A great play. You know, Justin Ishida did a great job, too, shielding the receiver, Mole, and that's why he wasn't able to see that football, I don't think. That allowed Nava to catch it.
The long extra point try, that's not going to quite get there. They had to kick that from way back, about the 25-yard line. That was almost a 35-yard extra point try. Driving low kick, does not have enough height. Nonetheless, 40-20, Buena extends the lead. 9:42 left to play in the 4th. And there you see a very happy, I guess as well he should be, Randy Nava following that interception return for the score.
And that's a great way to keep your opponent from being able to get back in the ballgame real fast. Pick one off and run it back. Nice job by Randy Nava.
And as I mentioned, I've seen Dave Wheeler dive into the waves around here like that. Come up, none the worse for wear.
Usually results in small craft warnings, but still.
It's quite entertaining, just like that play by Nava was. So Buena looking good. They look like they might be on their way to a second round. We'll call that a quarterfinal matchup against Oxnard, and that's a game that I think if you're a football fan, if you can get out at all on a Friday night, that should be an exceptional high school football game.
It should be a great football game, and nice for us to get the opportunity to just go and watch that ball game. And
here's the kickoff again. The low bounding kick will take the hop off one of the up receivers who will pick it up. He's going to come right back up the middle. That's Sadid. In fact, that's Mole. Mole down the sideline, 30. He's going to score. Ryan Mole, no penalty flags down. All of a sudden, Ryan Mole, he goes the distance for a score.
We still got 9 left in this half, Tommy. There's still plenty of time for Righetti to come back and win this ball game. That shows you what a difference one guy can make for this team. For Righetti tonight, the man has been Mole. I mean, this kid is just all over the place, and he's making things happen. And this happens, you see it all the time, where there's a little bit of a stutter, there's a little bit of a hesitation. And yeah, exactly. People get out of their running lanes. Mole looks up, he sees just a little bit of an opening, and he's got the kind of speed that, boom, he's off.
Extra point try on the way, and that one looks good. Indication it is good. Timeout, 9:32 still left to play in the 4th. It's now 40-27, Buena. And I should, at this point, apologize to the football gods. I should know better. Lots of football left. Again, my deepest apologies to the football gods. These games are never over until every single tick of the clock is off, and I think the indication, when you have a player of the ability level of Mole on a kick return situation, and he's already scored on a couple of one-play drives, that most recent one on a kick return, you really can't take anything for granted, Dave.
No, you can't. And that's what Buena needs to do right now is they got a little bit of a shell shock there on that last play. Okay, guys, regroup, realize we got 9 minutes and 32 seconds left here, and I'm sure that's what Coach Scott and the guys down there are telling them on the sideline. You know, keep your heads in this ball game, guys. You only got a 13-point lead here. Let's don't let Righetti get back in this ballgame.
Dave, to kind of hammer home the point, this is a game that we thought would be a very physical game, a relatively low-scoring game by virtue of the results of both these teams, the scores they've put out throughout the course of the year. Not that they're not capable of big scores, but Buena coming in, giving up on average 18.3 per game. They've already given up 27. 10.9 for Righetti. They've already given up 40. Kickoff is a low. That's going to be picked up by, in fact, the bottom of the pile. Let's see who gets it. Buena thinks they're there. Almost recovered by Righetti, coming down quickly. but we believe Buena might have the ball. No indication yet. We've had people from both sides saying they have it. So it was touched illegally, evidently, before it went 10 yards. That's the call by the official. Ishida up from the bottom of the pile. And let's see if we can see it on replay here, Dave.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to. It's right there. It was touched before he went over the 50 by somebody other than the gentleman that came up with the ball. So there was a touch.
I'd like to see that again because I think it was already across midfield. Hard to see on the angle. Very, very close. Again, it's real hard. I don't know if we have the ability to slow that down, but nonetheless, the call is in the books. I don't think Greg Dickinson and staff are happy with that call, but they will have no recourse right at midfield. In fact, just inside midfield, we'll call it the 49-yard line. Let's see what we can figure out here. You see the ball in flight.
There's the ball right there.
I
think he was still over.
Well, I think his feet were behind the 50-yard line, but I'm not sure the hands were and the ball.
Hard to say. That is such a tough judgment call, and it happened so quick, but right there. Oh, it's very close.
That's great camera work again. Tremendous camera work. And as we mentioned, the guy that gets the last say is the only guy that counts, and that's the guy in a white hat.
Guy in a white hat. And he says, you touched it, you touched it. So I just thought when it was running live, it looked like they touched it a little early. But
here's the load formation. Single flanker wide to the right side. I backfield set behind Cushing. He'll turn, drop it off again to Garfield. Fullback lead off the left side up near the 47-yard line. That's well defended. Still lots of time. 9:20 left to play in the fourth. 40-27 Buena. Tackle on the play by Scott Kegley. But again, getting back to what we're talking about, you expect a certain type of game based on what's happened before, but usually in the playoffs you throw that all out.
Yeah, exactly. And there is no set pattern, and you can pretty much say, hey, you know, this is the time when teams that aren't supposed to win do win, and the ones that are supposed to win sometimes get bitten, and it can happen to you. You just got to throw everything out and say, okay, it's a brand new season. That's why we call it the third season.
Tight end left, slot to the wide side. That's the right side of the offensive formation. Flanker back Judkins in motion across the formation. Garfield off the right side. Again, great patience by Alex. Penalty flag will come down. I believe Alex short of the first down at about the 42. Vicker on the stop, but this one might come back. I anticipate holding against Buena.
Yep, you're right. There's the indication. Good call, Coach. You saw it probably. Probably one of the big linemen come across, maybe Pravasco right there. He's got a hand on
Winkle, I believe.
On Winkles, yeah, Noah Winkle. I think that's probably the call that you got there on the fringe.
So they will mark that back across midfield, spot it down at the 43-yard line, now back in Buena territory.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
I like this official's enthusiasm, though. He's right on top of the calls. He's very declarative, very affirmative in the calls he's making.
He's a sharp dresser and a good cook, too.
Girls in the dorm love him, I understand. Clock will now be wound up again, 8:25 and counting. Second and we'll call it 18 yards to go for the first down. Again, Judkins in motion from right to left. Offset formation, straight dive play. In fact, there's a quarterback keeper by Cushing. Nice ball faking by both Cushing and Garfield. Gonzalez with a nice play off the edge, cornerback-wise for Righetti. That's a pickup of maybe 3 yards. We'll set up third and still about 14 yards to go for the first down. 8 minutes left to play in the fourth period. Buena 40, Righetti 27. Big play defensively this possession for the Warriors.
You see Rick Scott sitting in the play, and I know he'd like to see one more put up on the board here to give him plenty of cushion, at least to hold this ball for the next 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Not give Righetti a chance to get back out here and score again.
He's got the big horse in the backfield. He wears number 22. I would expect to see the ball perhaps in his hands. He motions to the right side. The turn of quarterback draw play up the middle. That's a nice call. Cushing across midfield back to the 45. He will be short of the first down. A.J. Berry with a stop for the Warriors. In fact, he'll be 5 yards short of the first down on 4th and 5. Interesting call. I think up by 2, you go ahead and try to cough and corner this one.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you know, try to set them back and have them go 95 yards for the score. And with the way Righetti runs, though, that could take, 2 minutes. You never know.
Maybe a play or two.
Yeah.
When I say up by 2, of course, I meant 2 scores. 40-27 in punt formation. Romo, good snap. He will try to angle it towards the right corner. That will bound right about the 15. Hits one of the Buena guys. That's Ford, I believe, standing at the 15-yard line.
Tough break for Ford. He was in really great position where the ball just came down right by his feet. Ends up hitting him. The thing could have had a good bounce and maybe got it inside the 15, but at least they got him inside the 20.
Still 6:45 left to play in the fourth. Buena in pretty good shape, 40-27, but they cannot rest on their laurels with this very explosive Righetti Warrior football team led by Ryan Mole.
No way. I mean, they need to make something happen defensively right here.
Two backs in that backfield, a motion back Amaro across the formation. Thomas to pass off play action, deep post break. Grover is out there. He's got the catch at the 40-yard line, tackled by Ford. Nice route, nice play action fake by Thomas, and good delivery to Grover on the deep post.
Hey guys, guess what? They're going to throw the football, and the guy they want to get it in the hands of is Ben Grover. We've seen that and we know that, so let's do something here to shake it up a little bit. They got to put more pressure on Josh Thomas. They can't just let him sit back here and pick him apart.
They got Ryan Mola line as the slot man. Here's the outbreak this time. Catch is made by Sedin, giving ground back towards his side of the football field. Still on his feet at the 47-yard line. Derek Sedin has another nice pickup on first down. The clock will continue to move, closing in on 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Nava with the stop once again for Buena's Bulldogs. He has that nice play that unofficially, I believe, was about a 50-yard return of the interception for the score. The most recent score in the ballgame for Buena. Looking to pass again is Thomas. He's got the receiver. That catch is made. Great throw. I thought the defender in position, but the catch is made, I believe, by Mole.
Well, Buena was over there as well as Ashita, but nobody could come up with the football except for the receiver. And Mole's just real impressive, Tommy, no matter what he's doing. But a great job by Thomas laying this ball in there. Look at him, how he splits the defenders. Ashita's right there, as well as also Oregon for the Buena Bulldogs, but still Mole comes up with the catch.
First and 10, 35-yard line, back in Buena territory. Here comes Mole again. Cut back run to the left side, inside the 25 to the 22, as Ryan Mole continues to impress Dave Wheeler.
He does. Anthony Wozni saves a touchdown by trailing the play from the backside and brings him down, but this kid Mole, man, he makes things happen in a hurry. And Righetti's right back in this ballgame, Tom. They got plenty of time.
Did you call him a Mole man? Or did you say
no,
Mole man?
I would never do that.
Okay, first and 10 for Righetti, right back down the football field. Stop route off the left side. That's intended for Grover. A little bit too quick on the timing route. Incomplete coverage by Oregon. But again, this does not particularly hurt you. Incomplete pass, you don't like that, but at the very least, you stop the clock. You still have 5:18 left in the fourth.
You bet. And you're down in, around the 20-yard line going in. They got plenty of time here. They got to have some luck on their side here. Try to get the ball in the end zone, number one. And Buena's a tough defense to do it against, but then they got to also be able to get the ball back.
Second and 10 from the 21-yard line. Righetti with the ball in Buena territory. Short motion Diaz. He's got the ball. That's an inside handoff. That's fumbled. It's on the ground. Still on the ground. I think Nava might have it. Ford in and out of his hands momentarily. I think it popped over to Nava's hands. And I believe Buena might have it at about the 16-yard line. No, in fact, somebody for Righetti, it might have been Mole back on top.
I think it might have been big Chris Spence, too, the guard. He was one of the last guys to get up off the pile, big number 71. Let's see what happens here. Ball's on the ground right here, and you can see it squirt up.
Couple of guys
it looks like Nava got in on it. And then somebody buries underneath, just burrows underneath that pileup.
Somebody late. Stop route. Grover has the catch. 10-yard line. Knocked out of bounds at the 8. That will be first and goal for Righetti. Still 4:32 left to play. I'm impressed with the leadership ability of Thomas. We talked about him. He's 4.9 speed, has a very good arm. He was, as we mentioned, the starting catcher on the junior national baseball team that took a silver medal in the World Championships this past summer. And he can throw the football very definitely. Been forced to throw more than they normally like to because of their position, trailing 40-27. First and goal from the Buena 8-yard line. Diaz in motion. He's got the ball inside reverse or counter play, stacked up right about the 5. What this does effectively for Buena, more clock time will click away. John Serrano with the stop for the Bulldogs. Coming up on 4:15 left to play in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, Righetti doesn't want this to take 3 minutes to get this ball in, from the 5-yard line out. They want to get this in a hurry. So, watch for the play action fake here, something like that, or get the ball in.
Fade route right side intended for Grover, up high, in and out of his hands. Pretty well defended on the edge by Nava. I thought Grover had it, but very persistent effort underneath by Nava knocked that away, I think.
Great job by Nava. He's given up a lot of height to the receiver Grover, and you saw him go up the ladder there. Did the right thing though. He turned back, looked back towards the ball, went up after it. They've ran this fade route down here in the other end zone very effectively. See him go up, knock that thing away. Nicely done.
On the way down, he was starting to tuck the ball away. Grover, good job with a hand by Nava to knock it away on 3rd and goal from the 5. Toss coming back to the right side to Mole. He's at the 5, breaks one tackle, comes back inside. He's going to go down at the 3. So Nava again on run support off the left side cornerback. Wozni on the trail. Ford was also there. 3:40 and counting. This will be 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. You have to go for the touch here, Dave.
Yeah, there's no way. You're down 13 points. You need 2 scores here, and the clock's becoming your enemy. So, yeah, they got to do something here to make it happen.
Here's a coverage problem right now. Will they get Bueno out on the slot receiver? They end up trip set off the left side. Toss coming back to the left side to Mole. He might get there. He does. He's got the touchdown.
I like what they did there. They took trip receivers and they turned it into a kind of a spreading out of the defense, and it gave them blocking angles to shut it down. Then they just get the ball in their fastest guy's hands and say, hey, run to the end zone. He does a great job of getting it in.
And Buena was a little bit late on the adjustment, Dave, getting out there on coverage. And I think because of that and the fact, as you mentioned, the blocking angles coming back inside, Mole just enough to get into the end zone. Extra point try coming up. That kick looks pretty good. Indication it is good. So we still have 3:14, Dave, left to play in this football game. The scoreboard shows Buena, they're still on top, but it's now 40-34 over Righetti.
Great ball game so far. It lived up to its potential here. The only thing we didn't guess right was that there was going to be 74 points scored in this baby. But, man, what a slugfest it's been between 2 very good teams.
Ryan Mole last year as a sophomore, 342 yards of rush offense. He averaged 7.8 yards per carry, scored 3 touchdowns. This year averaging about 9.5. I think he's well over that still tonight. 4.5 speed according to my information, but I think he might be a little quicker than that.
Well, he sure looks it. I tell you, he gets to the point of attack in a hurry.
Of course, 4.5, 4.4, 4.3. I mean, that's kind of something that Dave Wheeler used to see in the old days.
In a car.
Kickoff underway. Will it be a deep one? It will, in fact, be. Garfield, the single guy, goes backfields at the 2, at the 5, 10, 15, at the middle, 20, 25 to the 27-yard line. They'll stop the clock with 3:08 left to play in the 4. Jimmy Dodos downfield on the stop for Righetti. So that's a situation, I think, with still 3 minutes plus left to play. Probably a good decision. Don't risk the onside kick. Of course, if you get it, that's great. But if not, you set up your opponent, Buena, right about midfield.
Yeah, and I like it, too, because they had all their guys up for the kick. Basically, Garfield's back there by himself. He ends up with a great run back, gets it back to the 26. But what if one of your guys can get down there and cause a fumble? That's a nice play.
This should be Alex Garfield time to try to run this clock completely down to the end. He's got it on first down off the right side. He breaks the tackle. He's across the 30 to the 32. So that's a good run on first down for Garfield. Gets about 5, maybe 6 before Chris Elliott makes the stop. Timeout call by the Warriors.
What they need to do here, Tom, they need to keep Buena from getting two first downs. Buena gets 2 first downs, all their timeouts are gone, game's over. And so they need to just keep them from being able to get that 20 yards, basically. That's the difference in the ballgame.
As Rick Scott makes his way into the offensive huddle for the Bulldogs. Don't forget to find out more about our Game of the Week coverage. Visit the website listed there on your screen. You'll find a complete listing of the games we'll be covering, as well as dates and air times. And if you're interested in being a Game of the Week sponsor or in getting a copy of any of our games, you'll also find contact information. So please check out the website. You know, one of our sponsors, OPF Incorporated, we mentioned Dave Garza. What a tremendous fan and supporter of local football Dave has been. Of course, his son, great football player at St. Bonaventure, but it's always a pleasure to see Dave. He's such a positive guy.
Very upbeat, and as you mentioned, such a fan. He just loves high school football.
2nd and 5 yards to go. Double twin, single back in the backfield. Long count by Cushing. Garfield a single back. He's got the ball on the counter. In fact, straight at the middle. Short of the first down by about a yard at the 35-yard line. He has to get to the 36, Dave, to get the first down. Lots of people up front led by Greg Shibata. 2nd timeout by Righetti. So I think, Dave, this next play pretty much will be the ball game, because if you force them to punt on 4th, you can perhaps use your final timeout to save some clock. But if they get the first down here with only 1 timeout left, it doesn't look too good unless you get the turnover.
Well, that's, and you've seen it already. Righetti's trying to tackle the ball, trying to get it out of the hands. Garfield, a very sure-handed running back, though. He doesn't put the ball on the ground very often, so he's doing a good job covering it up with both hands. But I think you're right. They get this first down. They might need one more to completely close it out. But Righetti's starting to see the handwriting on the wall. They've played a great game here tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Well, this is a situation, I think. In fact, I should mention, don't forget to stay tuned at the conclusion of the game as we present our Adelphia Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Aswell Trophy. Here we go. Dive play out the right side. He's not going to get there. I believe underneath the pile, they do not mark forward progress. So this is a situation where I would think you have to punt it away. You don't want to set up that team at the 35-yard line, up by, at this point, 6 points. And George Contreras will already make his way back onto the football field. They're going to measure this, and it might depend exactly how far away the spot is from the first down. I think he's still a good half yard, maybe more away from the first down, Dave.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a situation, too, where, as you mentioned, you got to punt the ball away. I mean, that's what a great stop up front. I think I saw a big number 70 in there, Shibata again, along with Noah Winkles, were the main guys that stopped Garfield. Everybody in the stands knew Garfield was getting the football, and it's not much.
It's pretty close. This is a situation where you might go ahead and go for it. We'll call it about a foot. So I would expect here you're going to go ahead and go for it. I think the reasoning being twofold. It's such a short distance. You're so big and physical up front, and I don't think you want to see anybody with Righetti with that football field, especially number 13 with the ball, Ryan Mole.
No, great job up front. You saw big Chris Elliott also at the bottom of that pile. A lot of beef there between Elliott and Shibata. Shibata goes about 280 and Elliott's about 265, 270.
And this will probably be, this is the final timeout call by Righetti. This is also a scenario if you let the clock run. Buena might use the, let's let it wind down all the way, run as much clock as we can, and then punt off the penalty. But I think they might go ahead and go for it here, 35 yards away. I don't know what the book says, but I think you have to go with the gut feel sometimes. And as hot as Ryan Mole has been, I don't know if you want to give Righetti another shot at the ball offensively. Of course, if you don't make it here, you only have 35 yards, or they only have 35 yards to go. But if you make it, they will not see the football again, I don't believe, Righetti's Warriors.
It's a tough call. I mean, you're in the playoffs. It's like, okay, it's, we're here. Let's win it. Let's go for it. Let's do what it takes to get the job done. Of course, all these fans, both sides, are in this ball game right now, and Rick Scott's walking off. They are going to go for it. Gutsy call, Tommy.
Quick snap, quarterback keeper, I believe. You got the big hogs out front. Let's see what happens. Just take it yourself, Garrett Cushing, awaiting the snap of the football. Long count. Garfield will motion. Long count. I think they might take the penalty. That's what they're going to do. They're going to call the timeout. So they're looking for movement. I think at this point in time, now they're definitely going to go ahead and try to punt it away.
Yeah, that's a very disciplined play by the Righetti defense. I'm sure that during the timeout prior to this, the coaching staff over there said, look, guys, don't give them the cheap first down, okay? Some discipline here. Only go on ball movement. Don't look at anything else. Don't look at a motion man. Don't listen to the quarterback's cadence. Just watch the football. And Righetti did a great job there not going off sides.
So George Contreras says basically this changes from an offensive situation to a defensive punt situation. Romo is in the football game to apparently punt it away. And again, any type of movement into the neutral zone, that was great discipline by both teams, especially, I think, Righetti. In deep formation, will they basically try the rush here, or will they try to return? Still 2:38 left to play in the fourth. Good snap, no pressure, high kick, angling towards the 40-yard line, will bounce across the 40 near the 35, will roll dead right about the 32-yard line. So Righetti's Warriors, they don't have any timeouts left, Dave, but they still have 2:25 left to play in the fourth, and they trail by 6, 40-34 to Buena.
This is going to be tough sledding for the defensive unit from Buena. I tell you, Josh Thomas has been pinpoint with his passes. This kid, Ryan Mole, is just exciting, can tear it up. 2 minutes 25 is plenty of time to get it done here, Tommy.
Probably even without a timeout, they'll go out of the shotgun. Thomas, wide slot up the left side. He's looking to pass left. He's got time. He throws the in break. That's a nice catch by Sedin at midfield. He's got a first down. Great catch by Sedin up high.
Robert Oregon on the tackle and the coverage. He was there, but this kid Thomas is just lighting it up here in the second half, Tommy.
Down to 2:19. They haven't started the clock back up yet as they reset the chain. Now they will do it. 2:15 and counting. Under center, looking to pass. Stop route right side. Grover, he makes the catch. Short of the first down. Ball at the 43-yard line now in Buena territory. Coming up on 2 minutes to play as they hustle to the line of scrimmage in the 2-minute offense, Dave.
Boy, this is you can't ask for a better game.
Playoff football,
better
Dave.
ending right here.
Slot to the left side, Thomas to pass once again. He's got some time, coverage will break down, I should say protection will break down. Throws towards the sideline, incomplete, intended for Sedin. So that will stop the clock with 1:46 left to play. Serrano chasing Thomas out of the pocket. Almost got to Josh, did force the bad throw.
Yeah, Serrano was there. I think Bud Crudo was there as well. And, just a little bit of a breakdown on the right side there allowed Josh Thomas to get outside of the rush. You can't do that with this kid. He's shown you the ability to take off and run with the football. Hem him in, pinch him in, make him go down. That's what you got to do right now if you're Buena.
3rd and 3, Thomas. Shovel pass underneath the Mole. He's got the first down, 40, 35, 30. They'll stop the clock. Inside the 30 at the 29. Mole on the shovel pass. Great call on 3rd and short for the first down. So Righetti now 29 yards away perhaps from taking the lead. Great timing right there.
You bet it was. A little bit of an overrun there situation by the defensive end. You gotta watch for that kind of play. They've been showing it all night long.
Out of the shotgun, Thomas, sideline break, that's incomplete, intended for Sedin. Again, that's not necessarily a bad situation if you're Righetti. It stops the clock, 1:29 left to play in the fourth. 2nd and 10 from the Buena 29-yard line. Buena 40, Righetti 34. Don't you love the playoffs?
This is just ringing us out here, I'm just going nuts watching this game. What a great football game.
Thomas very quietly, I should say very confidently, under center, will call some type of play. He's back to pass, draw play up the middle of the Mole. He stumbles to the ground at the 29. I don't know about that one. What that does, the clock will continue to run. That will set up 3rd and still about 10 yards to go for the first down. 1:15 and counting. Gonzalez with the play along with Bud Crudo. Mole looking a little bit tired on that exchange. The draw play up the middle. 2 plays to get 10 or more yards for Righetti. Out of the shotgun, rolling left to pass is Thomas. Pressure off the edge, is going to get there. Big time sack, ball on the ground. Is that a fumble and a recovery? No indication. They say wind the clock, 4th down. So 4th down situation, 50 seconds, 49 and counting. 4th and about 15. This will probably the last shot at either maintaining possession or perhaps getting in the end zone. I believe that's Ford, perhaps. Let's see what the number is. I saw the big 8. I couldn't catch that second numeral.
Yeah, it had to be Ford. Ford had to be coming up from
Might
a
have been
safety
Michael
position.
Cole.
Great job, whoever was there.
This is your ball game, 4th and 15. Thomas rolling right to pass. He's got some time. He throws towards the end zone. He's got a receiver, Grover, incomplete, back in the end zone.
Unbelievable, I tell you, he was in position to make that catch. No pressure on Josh Thomas. You gotta put somebody in his face. He's too good of a quarterback. What a great effort by Righetti, though.
Grover was running clean midway deep in the end zone. did not pick up the flight of the football. Pretty well thrown football on the run by Thomas. They had a chance, Dave. They didn't quite hook up.
No, just missed by that much right there, and I tell you, that's a sellout. Even if he makes that catch, I don't think he makes it in the end zone there. It was that close to being out, but great effort anyway.
One snap, one drop to the knee, and that will do it. The final score tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium, CIF Southern Section Division I first round playoff action. We had a great one. Buena's Bulldogs will win it, Dave Wheeler, 40-34. The CIF Southern Section Toyota Football Championship game. Round number 1 has been sponsored in part by Crown Dodge, one of California's top Dodge dealers, in their brand new superstore in the Ventura Auto Center. And by Bucky's Barbecue. Bucky's uses only certified Angus beef and smokes all their meats over 100% wood for up to 12 hours. Stop by Bucky's Barbecue at the Oxnard Airport and try the killer beans. And by Big J's Furniture, beauty, elegance, quality, and dependability, all at affordable prices with personalized service from neighborhood friends you can trust. And by the City of Oxnard Solid Waste Division, find out how you can do more to help save the planet by recycling. Call 385-8060. And by Paradise Chevrolet, the Tri-County's #1 volume Chevrolet dealer. Final score tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. It was a great football game. Buena wins at 40-34 over Righetti. There's Rick Scott. I think he looks relieved more than anything else, Dave Wheeler.
Oh, he dodged a bullet tonight.
We're going to set it out. We'll be back with our Player of the Game presentation, also with our statistical update provided by the Dr. Jerry Guerin. Stay with us. CIF playoff round post-game action coming up.
We're here at Turner Field, Larrabee Stadium in Ventura, where tonight the Buena Bulldogs victorious over the Righetti Warriors, 40-34. And a big part of the reason was this gentleman standing right here to my left, number 30, Randy Nava. Congratulations on a great ball game tonight. You guys take a step forward towards your goal. I'm sure you want to get into that CIF Southern Section Division IV, final round here next week. Going to be against the Oxnard Jackets. You guys are pretty familiar with them. You think you got to do anything special to get ready for them?
Got to go to the run. Got to stop the run.
Yeah, you do. You got a big Aaron Brown coming over, but you guys had a pretty good guy out there tonight in Garfield. You had 192 yards. So
He's a man.
He's the man. Good job out there. Well, you had a pretty good night, too. Let's talk about a little bit of your stats here. 7 tackles. You had 1 pick for a touchdown. You knocked down a key pass here in the fourth quarter over in the end zone here. Great job. We highlighted you guys prior to the game, you and Mr. Oregon both. Did you guys think that you had to do anything special to go up against their guys?
We got to stop the run. That was it.
Yeah, well, you guys didn't do too bad a job of that. So.
They stopped us. They got us on a couple blitz for the big runs, but that was it.
Good run support, though. Nicely done. Well, Mr. Nava, you did a good enough job out there tonight that you're our player of the game. Here's the Adelphia Game of the Week trophy. We appreciate your effort out there tonight, and good luck the rest of the way. We'll be covering you next week. Adelphia will be covering Oxnard Buena next week in the playoffs, so don't forget to tune in then. And we're going to come right back in a minute here with some highlights from tonight's game. Again, our player of the game, Randy Nava, number 30, left side and right side corner, switches depending on who's out there, and does a great job no matter who's there. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
We're coming right back.
I don't know. We might have to take a break after that. That exploit. Tonight's game has been sponsored in part by tremendous game tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium. Dave, take it away, big boy.
You betcha. Tonight's game brought to you by West Coast Video Production, providing television production equipment from single-camera news crews to multi-camera video packages with over 15 years' experience. West Coast Video Productions, the professional's choice. And by OPF Incorporated. OPF Incorporated is a manufacturer of precision metal products doing business in Oxnard for the past 17 years. With over $3.5 million in high-tech equipment, OPF specializes in fabrication of metal brackets, panels, covers, chassis, and weldments. If you're in the need for quality metal product, call Dave Garza at OPF Incorporated today, 985-0447. and by Pronto Brake and Muffler. Pronto Brake and Muffler has been serving Oxnard for over 25 years. Come in and experience our fast and friendly service. And by Dave Barlow at Barlow Williams Realty in Camarillo. Did you want your home listed or do you want it sold? Well, Dave Barlow sells what he lists. Call 987-5755 or stop by and see Dave in the Mission Oaks Shopping Center.
Thank you much, Dave Wheeler. You're not only Analyst Supreme, you're also a great backup guy here on our acknowledging our fine sponsors. What a tremendous game tonight. This was CIF Southern Section Division 4 first-round playoff action tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium here in Ventura. It came right down the wire, Dave Wheeler. Finally won by Buena. Great game by Buena, 40-34 over Righetti, a very game Righetti Warrior squad.
Very excellent job by Righetti. You can see why they're a 9-1 team. They got a lot of talent, and they got some young guys that are going to come back next year on offense. They should be exciting again next year. 6
juniors started offensively for the Righetti Warriors, so they will be back, and they will be back with a vengeance. Let's take a look at some of the outstanding plays in this football game, and there were a whole lot of those, Dave.
Oh, yeah. You don't score, what, 74
74.
points? Woo! Yeah, that's a big night. So it started right off the bat. First play from scrimmage by Moles. He just goes right up the gut and races about 60-plus yards for the touchdown, and we thought, uh-oh, we're in for a long night. And as it was, the doctor had quite a night on the computer just trying to keep up with the stats with these guys.
Touchdown. It was 13 seconds in, I believe, at that point in time. After the extra point try, it was 7-0. Here's a brilliant play by Justin Ishida, 69-yard touchdown run, breaking through a whole bunch of defenders to take it the distance and ultimately tie the score at 7-7.
And Mr. Ishida had a great ball game, was one of our candidates for tonight's MVP award, but he's an excellent athlete. He was great on both sides of the ball tonight.
Talking about MVP candidates, there was another candidate right there off the play action. That's Garfield, but here's Cushing doing another great job tonight, leading his team to victory. This time he scores off that bootleg.
Yeah, he's not flashy as a quarterback, but he does a great job, does enough to get it done. Very effective, as you mentioned, on the passing game. Here's Mr. Mole out of a passing route. Watch that little hurdle move. I mean, what an athlete this kid is. He's going to be fun to watch next year in his senior year.
And here he scores again in the first half, breaking off the left side. Little inside move there to set up a potential tackler. Watch the change of speed right here. He's basically baiting Corey Ford, showing some speed, taken away, then sprinting in the left corner of the end zone to score.
He's got great speed and very deceptive moves as well. Here's Garfield, another good choice as a candidate tonight for MVP. Finished with about 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. That one coming off of the cutback against the grain.
Great cutback.
Made the defense miss, made them overrun.
It was 2014 at halftime. Here's a 2-point conversion try, intercepted by Diaz, middle of the end zone. Here's Thomas to pass. This is the interception right before halftime, Dave, by Corey Ford.
Corey Ford, again, a big game for him from his free safety position. Just all over the field, making tackles and there with that pick. In the second half, as it got underway, here's Garfield back to Ishida on the reverse. And they really came out and showcased this play. 2 or 3 times they ran it successfully. Then they're going to run the fake later. But you can see that Ishida was very effective off of that handoff from Garfield.
Ishida, he doesn't touch it many times, but when he does, he usually does something very effective with it. Here's Garfield again to score, pretty much right at the middle. And here's the reverse play. They try to get the 2-point conversion back to Ishida, but that was a fine play defensively to make that stop. And here's Mole to score over the top as this lead, which at one point in time seemed to be a comfortable lead for Buena, but Righetti just kept coming back.
Here's Corey Ford up the middle on a kick return. He has a big return here, almost breaks it. He's got one guy to beat, and he comes up with the tackle. Of course, Mole's out there as well on the fringe helping out with the tackle, but Corey Ford with a big run back for a very good Buena special teams unit.
And here's Garfield again. This is the one, watch the effort right here. Almost down, extending the body for the big play. Tackle by A.J. Berry, but what an effort. Not a whole lot there, about 8, 9, maybe 10 yards, but this guy gets a lot out of himself and his teammate every time he touches the ball. This time he goes about 40 for the score. That's Garfield again.
Yeah, great night for him. Has been a MVP for us in the past, and it shows you what a great running back he is.
At one point in time, again, in the second half, big lead for Buena as Garfield, again, bullying over the goal line. They brought a pig back. We will see that, I believe, on this play. Nava, you will see him, our player of the game. Off the deflection, I believe, right about the 48-yard line. He picked that off. He brings it back all the way 52 yards for the very flamboyant dive into the end zone. It did cost his team 15, but again, it looks like he's diving into the surf here.
Yeah, that's the difference in the ball game, though, is his run back, because they end up winning by 6. If he doesn't make that pick and run back, they don't win.
Following that touchdown, watch Mole here. He picks it up without having the knee down, right up the middle of the field, breaks to the right sideline, and he's got just too much speed. He scores again.
That cut it to 13, I believe, and they're going to come back and score one more time. Righetti in the last 9 minutes of the ball game scored twice and really made it a good ball game. Here you're going to see
on fourth down, Mole again to score.
Left side.
So Mole scores. This was the final touchdown of the night, I believe, for Righetti. At this point in time, the lead was cut to 40-34. Watch the roll out here. That was a big play. Again, I'm trying to check the number. I thought that was number 87, Corey Ford. I don't know why he would be in that position, the free safety, so I'm guessing it probably was not. But that set up the final play. Fourth down, looking into the end zone, Thomas. He had Grover open. Watch how close Righetti was to perhaps winning this football game.
Very close. Very good ball game. A lot of fun, exciting to watch.
One snap later, the drop to the knee. Buena ran the clock out. Final score 40-34. They are on their way to the second round, the quarterfinal round, CIF Southern Section Division 4 playoffs here. And apparently they will play Oxnard. Our last update, it was 34-0 Yellow Jackets with just a little bit time left in the ball game. So another compelling, should be very exciting cross-county matchup between Buena and Oxnard.
Should be a good game.
Let's take a look at the stats again provided by the Dr. Jerry Guerin. He's back on his way to his beachside home. Time of possession again is very definitive to me. Buena almost 40 minutes possession time to a little over 19 for Righetti. So the Righetti Warriors made a lot out of about 20 minutes plus less offensive time with the ball. So very effective at what they had. They just didn't have it quite enough, or they didn't have it that last time with quite enough time to retake the lead.
Well, and then the big number that sticks out too is that 3 turnovers. That hurt them a lot, but they're still a very explosive ball team. Good, a lot of fun to watch.
How about the no penalties for Righetti to 9 for the Bulldogs? Very close in total yardage, Dave. 351 to 338. 19 first downs, Righetti to 18 for the Bulldogs, but again, the most important score, as it always is, you can throw every number out at the end except for the final score. Tonight it's Buena 40, Righetti 34. Individual numbers, Garfield ended up 33 carries for 191. That's 5.8 per carry. Ishida, 3 carries, how about this, for 108 yards of rush offense. That's on 3 carries. That's a 36 per carry average. Of course, he had the 69-yarder for their initial touchdown that really got them motivated and moving in the first half. Cushing 5 of 9 passing for 30 yards. Cole had a couple of touchdowns. Ishida, I should say, a couple of catches. Ishida had 1 catch. Ford had 1 catch. Garfield had 1 catch. Ryan Mole, he was very impressive, equally as impressive as Garfield. 16 carries, 167 yards. That's 10.4 per carry. He was averaging 9.5 coming in. He had 4 touchdowns of his own. Garfield had 3. Mole had 3 along a 60. That's not counting that long kickoff return for a score. So he was very, very good. Josh Thomas, 15 of 30. Both these guys, by the way, only juniors. 15 of 30 passing for 160 and a couple of scores. Mole had 5 catches for 52 to complement his 167 as a rusher. Grover, 4 catches for 54. Sedin, 4 catches for 42. Total yards, as we mentioned, 351. Buena, 338. Righetti. Tackling numbers, Leif Vicker had 7 along with Chris Elliott for Righetti. A.J. Berry and Daniel Diaz with 6. Greg Shabata with 5. Noah Winkles had 4. Danny Lauer, Scott Kegley, Ryan Gonzalez, Luke Darris, all with 3. For Buena, Randy Nava, our player of the game, was 7 along with Justin Ishida. So again, Ishida, 7 tackles, 108 yards of rush offense, and he's just a dominant type of player that you don't even notice if that's possible.
Yeah, he's one of the top dogs, that's for sure.
Oregon with 5 tackles, Wozni 4, Bueno 4, Corey Ford with 4, John Serrano had 3 along with Juan and Tiriano, Pierce Datweiler with 2 for the Buena Bulldogs. Once again, the final score tonight, Buena wins it 40-34 over Righetti. They're on their way to the second round of the CIF Southern Section Division 4 playoffs. I think it's safe to say against Oxnard, that should be an exciting football game. I look forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to it, too. It's regrettable that one of them is going to knock the other one out.
Reminder that tonight's game has been sponsored in part by Ventura Rental, still the best in sales, rentals, and services with 2 locations and a third-party rental location to serve you with daily, weekly, and monthly rates. Don't invest, rent the best. And by Dpr Mortgage. For home purchasing or refinancing, Dpr Mortgage has a variety of loan programs customized to fit your home loan needs. Today's rates are low, but they may not last. Call toll-free today to find out how much you may be able to save. They're at 1-800-327-9437. And by Fresh Catch. There's no fresher fish than Fresh Catch. Can you say that?
No.
Okay. With 2 locations to serve you in Oxnard and Newberry Park. And by Tony's Burrito Hut. Buy 5 corn burritos for only $3 and get 5 more corn burritos free by mentioning this ad. With 2 locations to serve you, one in the Central Shopping Center at 9286 Telephone Road and in the College Square Center at 154 North Ashwood Avenue in Ventura. Join us soon at Tony's Burrito Hut and discover the
flavor.
Very good. He's Wheeler. I'm West. Iceman here. We've got our great camera crew led by Bill Goodman. What great shots he had tonight. It's been another outstanding high school football game tonight on Adelphia. Hopefully we have 3 more, whether it's Buena, whether it's Oxnard, whether it's St. Bonaventure, Moore Park, whoever. I think there's going to be some Ventura County presence all the way through the mix here in D4.
It's definitely going to happen. So far tonight, 3 winners here local from the local area. So I think there's a good chance we're going to have a good stretch here through the playoffs.
Once again, for the entire Adelphia crew led by the 5-star General Joe Beltran, my name is Tom West. For Dave Wheeler, the Dr. Jerry Guerin, everybody associated with this broadcast, we remind you the final score tonight from Turner Field at Larrabee Stadium in Ventura. The Buena Bulldogs, they're moving on. They defeat Righetti's Warriors 40-34. We'll see you down the line. Good night, everyone.